Massive budget bill has passed the Senate, getting just enough support.
It was high drama to pass the bill in the Senate. The House is the next stop. One of the biggest advocates for the bill is Oklahoma Republican Markwayne Mullin.
I do believe we have a good chance to get it done. I can't speak for the House. I made myself very available to the Speaker and to the House. If I need to come back in town, I'll be happy to come back into town and visit with them.
There were 3 GOP no's in the Senate: Susan Collins, Tom Tillis, and Rand Paul. Collins says reductions to Medicaid funding could threaten rural hospitals. That's why she voted no. Senators added $50 billion to boost those hospitals. That helped score the vote of Alaska Republican Lisa Murkowski. The question is if the House will accept the altered Senate bill so quickly. Some House conservatives don't like how the Senate changed the bill the House approved back in May.
That's Fox's Chad Pergram. Democrats are unified against the bill. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
This dangerous and extreme Republican budget will result in Americans losing their lives.
Jeffries says that's because millions will lose their health care. A military helicopter has crashed in the capital of Somalia.
8 people were on board when a helicopter from an African Union peacekeeping mission came down in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu. According to a state-run news agency, it was attempting to land at the city's airport at the time. An airport worker said he heard an explosion and saw flames, with smoke entirely covering the chopper. Authorities say the fire has been contained. The African Union has more than 11,000 personnel in Somalia, battling the Islamist group Al-Shabaab. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Iran's president reportedly issues an order to suspend cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A victory celebration in Minneapolis. Your radar is clear. It's 64 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Your high today, 88. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 6:02. The Indiana Fever are champions, and they're bringing the trophy home. Jarrett Lewis has the story.
For the first time in franchise history, the Indiana Fever are WNBA Commissioner's Cup champions after blowing out the Minnesota Lynx 74-59 in Minneapolis Tuesday night. Natasha Howard led the Fever in scoring with 16 points and wound up being MVP of the game.
Intercepted by Howard. Flash off to the races. Lefty layup. Timeout Lynx. Tosh is taking over.
John Nolan, the call on the Fever Radio Network. Howard is taking home around $35,000 for winning the game and the MVP award. Indiana will next host the Las Vegas Aces Thursday night in Indianapolis. Jarrett Lewis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A drug deal, a shooting, and now a teenager charged with murder. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office says they have charged a 16-year-old with murder as an adult after a shooting last fall that left an 18-year-old woman dead during a marijuana deal. Court documents filed Monday say Emmanuel Carter now faces 2 counts of murder. The shooting happened in September of 24. Federal agents say stolen guns tied to shootings, carjackings, and drug dealing were traced back to an Indianapolis shipping center where the weapons were first reported missing after being sold on the black market.
Bruce Williams and Ryan Hurt were both working at that shipping center. They roped in other people like Malik Mendez and Antonio Grant to help steal and sell those guns 3 years ago. Some guns were also sold to Kevin Jones Jr., Dominique Ellison, and Zachary Doss. So far, only over 60 of those guns were found 2 months ago, many of which were spotted in some Indiana cities, as well as Chicago, Florida, and Oklahoma. Jake McDaniel, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
Gas prices up and down this morning, $3.20 on the average for regular unleaded across Indianapolis, says Gas Buddy. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level on the go, and at WIBC.com, traffic and weather together in 1 minute. It's 6:04.
Are you ready to build your custom dream home? Joyner Homes is ready to make your dream come true. Over 18 years, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, have built hundreds of homes in central Indiana, and the best place to start is JoynerHomes.com. That's where you'll find pricing, photos of completed Joyner homes to inspire you, available home sites, and info on where you can visit their model homes, and a lot more. Be sure to check out Joyner Homes' 5-star Google reviews. Get started today at JoynerHomes.com.
Fireworks are in the air and on the air.
Worthy of looking at from the people of Indianapolis.
People are giving him this money because they want something in return.
Correct.
From political blow-ups
No.
to explosive takes.
This is CNN. President Trump's right. That's scummy.
Your front row seat to the summer's loudest moments.
It's not a coincidence that the news already has a mugshot.
93 WIBC.
All right, checking out the construction zones, and they look okay right now, at least as far as the construction goes. And northbound 65 fine from 465 up to the south split. No problems there on the south side as we make our way into downtown Indianapolis. Safe from Southport. Good morning, guys. I see no trouble as you make your way north. And on the northeast side, clear path construction, the redesign of 465 and 69 on the northeast side going on until the end of this year. And right now, inbound 69 in from Fishers. Moving up to speed as you make your way down into Binford Boulevard. Traffic sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. That's 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. Wish TV meteorologist Marcus Bailey. Good morning. How does our weather look?
Hey, good morning, Craig. It's going to be another sunny and warm day, but the humidity stays on the lower side. It's already a beautiful start this morning. Not bad this afternoon. Today's high around 86. Tonight, mainly clear, still comfortable, a low of 68. Thursday, we're a bit warmer, sunny, maybe a little bit more muggy, and there could be a spotty thunderstorm late in the afternoon, mainly north of Indianapolis. Thursday's high 88. The 4th looks dry, but it will be hot with lots of sunshine, a little humid too. Highs near 90 on Friday. Feels like temperatures around 100.
Thank you very much, Marcus. Right now it is 6:07 Wednesday morning. Johnny Katz, Morning News, 93 WIBC. My name is Craig Collins, filling in. Thrilled to be with you. Pay that man his money is what I was yelling yesterday when I saw that Paramount has agreed to give President Trump 8 figures, a whole bunch of money, I think $30 million in a settlement for the way that they edited the Kamala Harris interview to make her seem much more capable of putting things together, words together, sentences together that made sense, when the truth is she was incapable of doing that. Every part of this is awesome. I do enjoy quite a bit of this here. But $30 million, and pay that man his money, by the way, it's from Rounders. You should see that movie if you haven't seen it before. But anyway, that's a big deal. That's out there in the news. One of my favorite takes on it came from Stephen Miller, who said the real reason that people keep settling with President Trump isn't because they think that, going to court would actually cost them more money. It's because going to court would actually force them to allow for discovery to happen. Which means emails and all kinds of other things would come out from all of these people, the Jake Tappers, the CNNs, the whoever's of the world, the text messages, all the stuff that the Dominion case seemed to, at least according to left-leaning media, out in the world of, Republican voices in media. I just find all of this so interesting. But I do agree that the real reason you keep settling for millions of dollars is you want this to go away before someone gets to poke around in the emails and the text messages and everything else for these organizations. Because that would be amazing. And that's what I actually want. I wish that those settlements would just be rejected and they'd just be forced to go to court so we get sweet, sweet additional information. But darn it, a $30 million is $30 million. And as I said, pay that man his money. Chuck Schumer went out there and said some crazy stuff, among a lot of other people. I think CNN is also using a pretty crazy take as far as the end of U.S. aid. So let's do CNN first, and then we'll go to the Schumer. This is what they said about U.S. aid essentially ending, the defunding of an organization, a portion of our government that was incredibly, incredibly fraudulent, like ridiculously so. There was so much going on, so much excess spending, waste, fraud, and abuse within U.S. aid that you could actually see some of it online in a transparent way. Not all of it. Of course, you don't see all the embezzling. But some of the stupid things we were spending money on were actually made public in a searchable website because that's how much they were arrogant in Washington that you wouldn't care or wouldn't check. But this is gone. It's a good thing. But CNN says it's going to cost us 14 million people somehow.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is hailing the end of USAID, the nation's largest foreign aid agency, even as a new analysis finds that its closure could contribute to some 14 million deaths in the next 5 years.
I love the way they say that, by the way. A study, some sort of investigation found that it could contribute. It wouldn't cause, but it could somehow be attached to, and then it made up a number. It's like this many lives. The biggest reason I say that this is ridiculous, and I'll play the Schumer audio in just a second, and we'll take a break, and we'll do a bunch throughout the 3 hours here on the show. But if Americans individually wanted to help people in other places throughout the world and wanted to, spend money to do that, we can. No one's stopping us. People who have the means. Bill Gates, one of the biggest guys complaining about the end of USAID, is upset that he can't launder money anymore using USAID and launder money to certain politicians using it. He's not upset that he doesn't have the means to go help whoever it is he thinks we were helping, because obviously he does. One of the richest men in the world could write some checks, do some things on an individual level, and get stuff done. And anybody who wants to could do that. And that's the more fair way to go about this. If you want the United States to be philanthropic, which I think it is, and the U.S. citizens to be philanthropic, give us the choice. Don't tell us you're going to take money from our taxes and then you promise you're going to give it to people who need it. And we're heartless if we want that program to go away from the government level and instead advocate for us doing it individually. All of that's crazy because, again, you could very easily do it. All right. You know what? I'm even going to skip Schumer for now. We'll get to him later. We'll get to a lot of stuff later because there's so many idiots out there. Joy Reid has said some really stupid stuff. I might have to save that for the popcorn moment later today. But this is Craig Collins filling in. Tony Katz, The Morning News, 93 WIBC.
This is Gary Dick cutting the ribbon on a major project in Morgan County at 632. Nominations are now open for IBJ's Women of Influence Awards. Submit your nomination by August 1st at IBJ.com. Then join us in October to honor the class of 2025.
Hey, it's Matt Bear for Concord Exteriors. Is your roof or siding all dinged up? Has Indiana weather been hitting your roof especially hard lately? Concord Exteriors is now offering free inspections to assess the condition of your home. From repairs to full replacements, Concord Exteriors knows the insurance process and will make your home as good as new as fast as possible. Help your home find the fountain of roof. Trust a company that was here before the storm. For your free, no-obligation consultation, scheduled today at ConcordExteriors.com or call 317-ROOFING. Concord Exteriors, referred for a reason for over 15 years.
For just a moment, imagine life without joint pain. Erase the constant ache in your knees, hips, or shoulders. Imagine moving with ease, unafraid of that next jolt of pain. At QC Kinetics, we believe your health is your greatest investment, and we're here to help you regain it. Our advanced regenerative therapies revitalize damaged joint tissue with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's not just about relieving pain, it's about restoring your freedom and confidence. Imagine golfing, hiking, or just walking without hesitation. Imagine waking up every morning without pain holding you back. With QC Kinetics, you can turn those dreams into reality by investing in something priceless, your health. Find out if you're a viable candidate by requesting a free consultation today. Call 463-842-1361. What's your health worth to you? If it's worth a free call and consultation, here's the number: 463-842-1361. 463-842-1361.
From marshmallow festivals to fireworks on the shore. No matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. During Hubler's Freedom to Drive, shop any of our 13 locations and choose from Chevys, Fords, Toyotas, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and more. Over 2,000 vehicles. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report.
'Cause Hubler's got you covered.
No matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles during our Freedom to Drive. Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 13 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Matt Bear, how do our roads look?
Pretty good, Craig, as we check out the south side in that I-69, former I-69 construction zone. It's still construction zone as they put on the finishing touches, but westbound, eastbound 465, just fine as you make your way from 65 to the west over to I-70. If you're going to Indianapolis International Airport at I-70 is your most direct route. It looks pretty good, especially coming from downtown. Westbound 70, fine from West Street, Meridian, Illinois, wherever you hop on out to Indianapolis International Airport. No delays, nothing to slow you down at the moment. If that changes, I will let you know. Traffic sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. That's 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. Sunny, a high of 88 for today. Pretty easy forecast compared to the other few days. We've been having a lot of thunderstorms and whatnot. 67 right now in downtown Indianapolis. That temperature brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center of 93 WIBC.
Stay on your home court with Franciscan Health's top-rated cardiac heart care. No traveling, no waiting. Just award-winning heart care right where you live. Rated #1 in Indiana 2 years in a row for cardiology and cardiac care by health grades, Franciscan Health offers first-in-the-world treatments, cutting-edge technology, and unmatched compassion. Because we believe every heartbeat is extraordinary. Don't sit on the sidelines with heart trouble. Schedule a same-day cardiology appointment today at 317-893-1900.
Why do so many basement companies want half the money up front? Could it be because it's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they don't ask for a deposit until the job is done and you're completely satisfied. They even start with a free inspection to ensure you know exactly what your home needs without the guesswork. With over 35 years experience, they've proven that trust is built on results, not deposits. Michaelis, building trust beneath your feet. Visit michaeliscorp.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live online or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
The Attorney General's office wants to put your money back in your pocket. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov and search for yourself, your loved ones, or your business. It's fast, easy, and free.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Tony Katz, the Morning News, 93 WIBC. My name is Craig Collins filling in. You got Matt, you have Carl hanging out as they do every single morning on this show. Should we ban left turns? That is a real question that a professor at Penn State has been asking. He says that 40% of all crashes happen at intersections. This is actually a fact. 60% of those accidents involve someone who's making a left turn. So as a civil engineer at Penn State, he says, ban them. No more left turns. Everybody's going to turn right and make boxes if you want to get certain places. Matt Bear, I don't know if you have a reaction to the no left turn plan that at least one professor at Penn State thinks is a good idea.
Oh, I think it's a brilliant idea, completely original. You don't turn left, and then you can just keep going straight.
Yeah, or
until you go over the hemisphere and the North Pole. You keep going straight until you finally reach your destination. I know what he's saying. A lot of people we have this problem in Indianapolis. I mean, people get hit by cars all the time, and it's unfortunate. It's people don't pay attention to what they're doing when they're driving, so if people come up with it, and banning all left turns is really, it seems there's something in the middle that maybe we can come up with between all that.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
We tried these signs downtown that say no right turn on reds, and, that's gone about as well as you think it would.
Sure.
And no, this is just somebody who's never driven a car before that's done public transportation all their life. And if that's you, God bless you. I can't think of a better life, but he obviously hasn't driven a car. That's where you get these ideas. So, whatever.
No left turns whatsoever at any time. You're right. There might be a middle ground solution to this problem.
So they have this law in New Jersey.
Sorry, go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, they have this law in New Jersey. So whenever you drive in New Jersey, you have to make a right. You have to go to the right lane and make a left turn.
This is a real thing?
Yeah.
No left turns in Jersey.
Yeah, no left turns in Jersey.
You can't turn left.
And you can't fill your own gas in Jersey either.
Okay.
Whoa.
I don't mean to correct Carl, but as a New Jersey person born there, you can make left turns. They are permitted at intersections. They're often handled differently.
How the hell do you get to Ohio if you can't turn left?
You know what I'm talking about? There's a lot of these left turns on the right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, there's intersections that have a separating piece of road that you turn from where you're actually going to your right before then making a left turn on a, what seems like an off-ramp, I guess, of a street.
Oh, my God.
As opposed to an off-ramp of a highway.
Let's say no more because the General Assembly is going to hear this and then decide on no left turns. All right, no more.
You are allowed to turn left in New Jersey, though. I want to make sure people understand that. You are, in fact, allowed.
If the wrong people get this information, we ain't going left in Indianapolis anymore.
and you can't fill your own gas in Jersey either.
Oh, why not?
I'm from there. Yes. Yeah. I love that. To be honest, I love that. And you know where else that's true? Mexico. My wife loves the idea of New Jersey because it's just like her home country. A bunch of people still work at gas stations in Mexico and fill your gas for you.
Oh, I thought like if you wanted gas in Mexico, you had to drive to Panama.
Yeah, it's something like that. But no, I like that one, man. I like sitting in my car and having other people put the gas in for me. What's wrong with that?
Well, do they come out and do the squeegee and everything and be like, hello, sir.
They do.
Good morning. Beautiful day today in the neighborhood.
They wait for the tip. The tip that is not coming.
Have
I'm not giving
white
one.
uniform, little gas station white attendant guy uniform, and being like, "Oh, Craig, good to see you today. Good getting up on it today."
Yeah, it's probably telling the other guys that's the guy who never tips us, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't. I'm not gonna. This is gonna be fine for everybody." All right, other things out there I see. I do like this story a lot. If you're bored of where you live, there are certain cities throughout the country that will pay you to move there. I don't know if that makes you more or less likely to go. West Virginia is giving a $12,000 incentive plus an outdoor recreation package and a co-working space. But you do have to qualify as someone who's actually not just moving yourself, but a business of some kind. To West Virginia, Tulsa, Oklahoma will give you $10,000 if you purchase a qualifying home and also a 3-year membership to a co-working space. Topeka, Kansas is offering $10,000 and also some help with rent and other things. Baltimore, Maryland will give you $5,000 for a down payment and help with closing costs. You do have to win a version of the lottery, though. It's the Move to Baltimore, Maryland lottery, and then you get money.
This is amazing.
This is crazy. Here's a couple more. Ketchikan, Alaska, which has a great name, is $2,000 and 3 months of free internet.
Use both hands.
Wow.
What's that?
No, I just babbled.
I love the fact that they throw in 3 months of free internet because it really feels like you're moving into like your first college dorm, like Ketchikan, Alaska.
Sounds like you're getting your first apartment. We'll take care of the first security deposit. First month free, washer and dryer hookup in the bottom.
One last one. Newton, Iowa will give you $10,000 in cash if you purchase a home that's at least $240,000 in value. They'll just hand you $10,000 in a briefcase, which feels extra wrong. But these are some of the places offering to give you money to move there. Does this make us likely to move to any of these places?
So these places are bribing people to move to their institutions. Like West Virginia says, we're going to bribe you. Tulsa, Oklahoma says, we're going to bribe you to move here. That's essentially what's happening. Maybe if I'm West Virginia and Tulsa, Oklahoma, I look like what I'm doing and maybe make corrections there so we don't have to bribe people that come live in our places. Maybe there's something with infrastructure or education that keeps people from coming to my city or my state. Maybe look at that first, and then you can spend the taxpayer money to bribe people to come to your state,
I agree with everything you said, except in the case of Ketchikan, Alaska. Mostly because there's no limitation. You don't have to buy a home. You don't have to win a lottery. You just go there and say you're going to live there. They give you $2,000 and 3 months of free internet. For some reason, that feels awesome to me.
You take
And
the
I don't know how many
2,000 and then move to Hawaii. That's what you do.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how many people live in Ketchikan, and I do like that name, again, a lot. Oh, it's 8,000 people. I just looked it up. 8,000 people live there. So you'd be, part of that group, that elite group of individuals.
They're going to have to throw in free heat as well.
Yeah, it's a cold place.
No, that's way too costly. That's going to be the first $2,000 in the first month. You're going to have to spend all that. One other thing I saw, and we'll get to it more later because I know we're up against a break. There are specific things that people claim will make your 4th of July perfect. If you don't have these 4 things, you have failed at your 4th of July party. I'll tell you what those are a little bit later on. We'll see if we agree with them.
Liquor.
We probably don't. Just one
Lots
thing.
of liquor.
It's fine, and then it'll be good. All right, we'll see what those are in a bit. This is Craig Collins filling in. Tony Katz, the Morning News, 93 WIBC. Matt's got your traffic.
All right, Craig, looking at southbound 65, wide open right now from 38th Kessler down to Meridian Penn, looking pretty good. Everything going into the north split, I don't see any trouble. As we take a look at construction on the south side, the construction zone I-65 from 465 up to the south split. By the way, for the Independence Day holiday weekend, that should be untouched, so everything's going to stay open. If you're planning on milling around, that will be available in all of its construction goodness, nevertheless, but still it will be available on the south side if you need it. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Hey, this is Rob.
And this is Casey.
Trump threatens to deport Elon Musk because, sure, why not?
Join us Wednesday, 9 until noon on 93 WIBC.
By now, you've heard about IndianaUnclaimed.gov. It's a way to claim your unclaimed property from the Indiana Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division. It's not a scam. It's not houses, boats, cars, or storage facilities. It isn't free money. So what exactly is it? It's your money. It belongs to you, and it's waiting for you to claim it. It's money from unclaimed wages or commissions, forgotten bank accounts, underlying shares, refunds, insurance proceeds, stock dividends, safe deposit box contents, overpayments, certificates of deposit, money orders, and more. The Indiana Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division safeguards those funds while trying to locate and return those funds to the owner or heir. It's your money, you deserve it, and the Attorney General's office wants to make sure you get it. The Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division has over $800 million just waiting to be claimed. Text Tony Katz to 46220. That's Tony Katz to 46220. Or visit IndianaUnclaimed.gov to claim yours today.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Everybody knows Hubler's got the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles. But did you know? Now you can get that same limited powertrain warranty on new Toyotas. Introducing the all-new Hubler Toyota. Get grand opening savings all month long. And right now, lease a new RAV4, just $349 per month. Or a new Tacoma, $299 per month. Plus, choose from Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, and more.
Hubler's got you covered.
At the all-new Hubler Toyota on US 31 South in Indianapolis. Visit HublerToyota.com. Grand opening savings and the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Cover me!
Select models. Approved credit. Plus tax tag title license 199 dealer doc. RAV4 model 4432. Tacoma model 7540. 36 months. $29.99 due. Zero security. 10,000 annual miles. 15 cents per mile thereafter. Expires 7/7.
I had changed the locks. Didn't even know where she was living. And then one night she calls to say she's getting treatment. Can I drive? I almost hung up. But then I thought, that's my kid. I chose to put away the hurt and the fear and just see my girl.
Addiction is a disease. Standing by a loved one as they fight it will test your faith, patience, and sanity. But it's possible when you see the person, not just their disease. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Do you need air conditioning service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling? We'll find that independent American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The House is talking about Trump's tax bill. You have a clear radar in downtown Indianapolis where it's 64 degrees, going up to 88 today. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 6:30. The Senate passing the one big, beautiful bill on Tuesday and sending it to the House as Republicans try to meet Donald Trump's self-imposed 4th of July deadline. Democrat Dan Goldman calling for more ICE oversight, noting the bill does boost deportation funding.
Do you think that so little of people who are not citizens in this country that you will let them live in squalor for weeks? Have you no decency?
House Speaker Mike Johnson calling the funding boost essential for the border security, though some House Republicans have pushed back on the price tag of the Senate version. Paramount and CBS have agreed to settle President Trump's lawsuit against their show 60 Minutes.
The parent company of CBS News agrees to pay $16 million to settle President Trump's lawsuit. That's a fraction of what the president sought. He sued for $20 billion, accusing the network of 2024 election interference for editing a 60 Minutes interview with then Vice President Harris. The settlement will cover items including legal fees and contributions to his future presidential library. In agreeing to the settlement, CBS is not acknowledging any journalistic wrongdoing. Carmen Roberts, Fox News.
A storm-chasing couple got engaged over the weekend as a tornado bore down on them in South Dakota.
In what's being described as a literal whirlwind romance, storm chasers Bryce Shelton and Paige Berdomas got engaged Sunday in front of a swirling EF3 tornado in South Dakota. The couple, bonded by their love of wild weather, were tracking a series of storms when Shelton dropped to one knee with what the couple described as the most beautiful tornado they had ever seen as the backdrop. The moment was captured in a stunning photo with Paige saying yes behind her safety goggles. The two had been dating for over a year, chasing twisters together, and Shelton had kept the ring hidden for weeks, waiting for just the right storm. Now they're forecasting a lifetime of love and adventure. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
And I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Traffic, weather, and sports in 3 minutes. It's 6:32.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Gary Dick. Officials in Morgan County will cut the ribbon today on a new $46 million judicial building in downtown Martinsville. That building, which is part of a larger $72 million judicial campus development, will replace the current Morgan County Courthouse, which was built in 1857. Morgan County Commissioner Don Adams says the new building will help the county consolidate many operations.
We'll have everything in this one building. It'll be a kind of a one-stop service for judicial things, the probation, the prosecutor, and in the forecourts that we'll have at the present, but then there'll room for growth.
The city of Fort Wayne has identified 2 finalists to potentially serve as the master developer for the long-awaited redevelopment of the city's North River site. The project would include the construction of the $60 million North River Fieldhouse, as well as a hotel, residential, retail, and restaurant space in future phases. The finalists are Kansas City-based Price Brothers Development and Chicago-based Related Midwest. Community Health Network has announced that longtime CEO Brian Mills will retire at the end of the year after 40 years with the nonprofit hospital system. Mills, who has been president and CEO of Community Health since 2009, said he decided to retire after milestones that included the 40th anniversary celebration of Community Hospital North and the opening of a new campus in Westfield. You're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Do you own an import-export business? If so, your company could save time and money with foreign trade zones. FTZs are designated sites across the United States where you can reduce, defer, and even eliminate import duties, helping you stay competitive in the global marketplace. If you're interested in becoming an FTZ, the Indianapolis Airport Authority can sponsor your application and start you on the path to savings, because smart companies get in the zone.
InZone. Learn more at inzone.org.
Indiana's economy is on the move, and every region has a role to play. Join IBJ Media and Inside Indiana Business for the Innovate Indiana series, presented by Indiana University and Old National Bank. We're traveling to 10 regions across the state to spotlight business growth, workforce development, innovation, and Indiana's tech hubs. Don't miss this front row look at Indiana's future and the growth opportunities in your region. Find out when we'll be in your area at ibj.com/innovate. United Way of St. Joseph County has tapped Mark Harriman to serve as its new president and CEO. Harriman has been serving in the role on an interim basis since late April. One of Indiana's largest private schools, Indiana Wesleyan University, has announced a new chief academic officer and vice president of academic affairs. David Davies will step into the role, overseeing Indiana Wesleyan's academic affairs. This is Gary Dick for 93 WIBC.
All right, there's a shooting investigation at MLK and 29th. If you cannot avoid, I know that's really close to 65. If you cannot avoid, please be careful in that area. Also looking at eastbound 70. Coming into downtown, looks pretty good right now. Now, northbound 65 through the construction on the south side. Now stop and go before Raymond Street up to the south split. Again, that's a construction zone. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. Sunny, a high of 88 for today, so a much easier forecast than we've had the last few days. 67 right now in downtown Indianapolis. That temperature brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center of 93 WIBC. With sports, Ryan Hedrick.
Good morning, Craig. Last night in Minneapolis.
There's the horn. Final score, Fever 74, Lynx 59. And for the first time in franchise history, the Indiana Fever are WNBA Commissioner's Cup champions.
John Nolan with the call on the Indiana Fever Radio Network. No Caitlin Clark, no problem. The Fever take down the Minnesota Lynx 74-59. Head coach Stephanie White.
Our execution through three quarters on both ends of the floor was really good against an outstanding team. I mean, I'm just really proud of this group. You know, we're going to continue to get better. We're going to continue to stack days. It's nice to take a trophy home, but this isn't the ultimate goal.
And each player gets a $30,000 bump in the purse. Major League Baseball last night.
It was excellent again. It was efficient, and it's just more of what we've seen from Matt really the whole season.
And that Chicago Cubs manager Craig Counsell talking about his starter Matthew Boyd, who led the team to a 5-2 win over the Cleveland Guardians. Sports brought to you by Ball State Athletics. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Tony Katz, the Morning News, 93 WIBC. My name is Craig Collins, filling in. Thrilled to be with you. A bunch of stuff to talk about. Yes, the House will be voting on the new version of the big, beautiful bill relatively quickly. Several different, I don't know if you want to just call them financial, fiscal conservatives, financial hawks, or whatever you want to say. Chip Roy is among them out of Texas. But several different politicians are saying they don't want to vote for this version of the bill because it's not actually achieving all the goals that the original version that they sent over to the Senate was, or at least more of them. So there might be some debating and some fighting here before inevitably I do think the bill gets passed. And I do agree, to be honest. I do think the bill had changed in ways that I don't like. I think that some of the unwillingness to prevent, say, people who are here illegally from getting medicated Medicare, and there was a way to actually put a provision in that would have been stronger there. They didn't do that. They took it out in the Senate. Those things aren't good. But essentially, if you keep going back and forth between both House and Senate, who knows when this thing passes. And I guess having both control the White House, the Senate, and the House itself makes Republicans want to pass a thing. But I do hate the way Washington works, to be entirely honest. I do. I genuinely hate it because even if you have someone at the top who wants good stuff, and President Trump, by and large, I think does want good things. He might be willing to take more concessions than you or I would take, but that's sort of how Washington works. But everybody else who gets involved, all their seedy fingers that touch it, and all the weird people that are paying them money to say no to this over here, yes to this over here. All of those things wind up being the way that these bills get changed and the pork gets put in and the excess spending happens. And then it's terrible for all of us. I really genuinely hate the way that the system now has been corrupted. And I would like to see it eventually get fixed. And that's the whole reason you put a person like Trump in the White House in the first place, is not to just pass a bill through the crap version of the government that we have now, but actually find a way to fix the special interests that are telling people how to vote, which is really the problem in all of this. But anyway, the House will debate. They'll do stuff. If it takes a long time, Democrats and left-leaning media will say it's bad. They'll somehow complain that the system that is designed to have back-and-forth debate is having back-and-forth debate, and they don't like that part. But at the end of the day, a bill will pass, and our lives will all move on. We'll all continue to live them, and it'll be just fine. I do want to play this audio, though. This is President Trump. This is totally different. He was talking about some things. He was wearing a Gulf of America hat, which is uniquely sort of hilarious. And as he was doing that, he said that if the crazy dude out of New York winds up being the mayor there, Mamdani, and then he actually winds up doing some of the things he said he's going to do, well, Trump might have issues. The president and the federal government might have unique issues with some of these decisions. Here's one of them.
Mr. President, your beloved New York City may well be led by a communist soon, Zoran Mandami, who in his nomination speech said he will defy ICE and will not allow ICE to arrest criminal aliens in New York City. Your message to communist Zoran Mandami.
Well, then we'll have to arrest him.
I do love the audio that was added to the end of that. Like, yeah, if he does that, we're going to have to arrest him. By the way, I'm going to open an energy drink right now to salute the president of the United States and the words he said. That was not an alcoholic beverage. That is a V8 energy drink for anyone watching the video live stream. But yeah, fantastic work, Mr. President. All right, quick break. A lot coming up. Craig Collins filling in. Tony Katz, The Morning News, 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
Now, the idea of Uber goes against everything we were taught as kids, though.
What's that?
Never get into a car with a stranger.
But there's betting.
Now we pay for it. We're literally paying the stranger to take us somewhere.
But at least there's some sort of vetting. You know the name of the person's coming.
So you'll know your kidnapper. It's like having an alarm on your car. Great, I can hear it being stolen.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Matt Bear here for Trajan Wealth. So much to consider when planning your retirement portfolio. So much out of control. There's inflation, economic policy that fluctuates, new laws and interest rates. All of this can affect the financial markets in the short term. However, we can't plan our retirement impulsively and change the way we invest in response to Wall Street. Instead, Trajan Wealth will help you review your strategy and make sure it's right for your goals, risk tolerance, and time horizon. Call and set your first appointment with Trajan Wealth at 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Trajan Wealth will help you decide what to do. They're fiduciaries, meaning they act in your best interest only. They've earned my trust. Give them a chance to earn your trust as well. Call today to learn more. 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Remember, your first appointment is on them. 317-480-4040. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went. And guess what? It did work for me. You know, my friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof, and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose. A very bad habit.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking without cravings, irritability, or weight gain. Early bird special only $49.99 guaranteed. Don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all, or your money back. Seminar 8 p.m. on Thursday, July 31st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville, or 2 p.m. on Saturday, August 2nd at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Registration 30 minutes before seminar. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
Pat Sullivan here with exciting news from my friends at Hope Plumbing, now known as Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling.
Hope now offers plumbing, heating, and air conditioning services, bringing total comfort to your home. No more dealing with multiple home service memberships. For only $8 a month, Hope is now your one stop for safety and maintenance inspections and so much more. Make sure you're prepared for those Indiana summer heat waves with an AC tune-up by calling Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 641-HOPE.
Matt Bear, how do the roads look?
Northbound Keystone Parkway, slow from 96th Street up to 106. Southside, Indianapolis, northbound 65 slow, Keystone Avenue to the southwest. That is a construction zone and a shooting investigation at MLK 29th right there at I-65. Police are investigating a person shot. Last heard he was in stable condition, and Ryan has more on that coming up at 7:02 from the WIBC newsroom. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. Sunny, a high of 88 today. Right now in downtown Indianapolis, it is 67 degrees. That temperature brought to you by the American Standard Heating and Cooling Weather Center of 93 WIBC.
Summertime's here, so get a hot summertime deal at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get Lincoln's employee pricing on most all new Lincolns. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Navigators. Up to $8,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Come and see why the Roush family has served the community for over 53 years at Tom Roush Lincoln.
Navigator MSRP 105-195. Nautilus MSRP 60-195. 2025 Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
101 West Ohio, Indianapolis. CordellCordell.com.
More tariffs later. Tornadoes possible.
WIBC.com gives you more than just headlines. It's context, updates, and insight. Whether you're at work, on the move, or catching up late, the latest is already there. Stay in the know while you're on the go at WIBC.com.
Tony Katz, the Morning News, 93 WIBC. My name is Craig Collins filling in. You got Matt, you have Carl hanging out, as they do every morning on this show. What makes a perfect 4th of July party? According to the internet, Talker Magazine, and a couple other places, these are the must-haves. The first must-have is classic barbecue food. You don't want to go too rogue in your barbecue decision-making here. Hot dogs, hamburgers, these are good decisions. Maybe some delicious barbecue chicken. But really, don't go any crazier than that. But have the classics, and you're doing a great service to the people that are coming out and hanging out with you. Do we agree on this one?
Have you ever gone to a 4th of July barbecue where they had just bratwurst and no hot dogs?
It's terrible.
Oh, it's
I have.
brutal. So
Yeah.
you just want that ballpark hot dog. And
Right.
like,
I mean,
no,
the
I have...
bratwurst is good, but yes, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, but they have things like German sausages. They are filled with cream cheese or whatever. And it's like, no, I just want a hot dog. That's all I want. I mean, thank you, chef. Chef so-and-so. Just make me a hot dog. That's all I want.
Well, and why no hamburger at all, man? Why go? I don't understand how people can grill anything without a few burgers at least accidentally getting onto the grill.
They have to
it's
be
gotta
like
happen.
up in the corner somewhere, right? You have to have them on the grill. I get you, yeah.
Okay, good. All right, that's one thing that's needed for this party. Number two, they said, is great music. You can certainly have some things that are patriotic, especially during the fireworks celebration itself. But having great music is an important part of the firework 4th of July party. Yes or no?
I mean, what are you trying to hit? Like patriotic music or a blend of like here in Indianapolis for the downtown fireworks, we have like Katy Perry songs mixed in with country songs and Stars and Stripes when they're shooting off fireworks. Yeah, is that what you want? I mean, for great music, do you want to feel the patriotic event or do you just want to go the entire time? I mean,
I will be honest though, man. Like I am a little sick of some of the songs that they play every year for that, like Firework by Katy Perry. I don't need that. That's not a 4th of July staple, and yet it is now. People play it all the time. You could skip that one, and I'd be fine. I would be very happy, actually, in fact.
Well, her brand's not doing all that great right now.
No.
So, she's not very popular with her trip to space.
Not right now.
She went to space, and everybody's
She
like,
did.
oh, no, that sucks.
She did. She kissed the ground when she got back. It was a lot of bad things happened.
I do that when I get to work. When I drive through downtown, I kiss this dirty carpet as soon as I get up on the 4th floor. I'm like, please, thank you, God.
You got to put a little spot for Matt. Like, you got to put a little plaque there where you kiss every day. This is where Matt Bear is happy to be here.
Instead of the Barney Stone, it's Matt's kissing floor.
Well, just like the Barney Stone, I hope nobody pees on that. Outdoor, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. If you don't know about this,
Too
it's
late.
a thing. Outdoor gaming is another thing they say you need at the 4th of July party. Cornhole, anything like that. You got to have something.
Yeah, cornhole makes sense. I thought you meant like set up an Xbox or something. I'm such a nerd. I'm like such a nerd immediately. I'm like, oh boy, video games outside. That'll be fun.
If somebody had an outdoor projector with an Xbox on it and that was their outdoor gaming, I'd be thrilled to go to that party, dude. Like, that would actually be a lot of fun.
Like
Distracting.
Maybe the new Mario Kart up there or something.
There you go.
That'd be really great.
Have you played that yet, by the way?
No.
Okay, I have.
I don't have enough friends to play Mario Kart.
Oh, I got a coworker who's got the new Switch 2, and he brings it around places, and he asks people to play, and you can just set it up. Like, for anybody that doesn't know what this is, it's a handheld video game system, and you can just set it up anywhere. So, like, in the break room at my other gig, he'll put it in, and, like, he'll be playing someone in Mario Kart when you go in to buy your snacks. And it's a little much. I'm going to be honest about that, but I have played him.
You can play him at work too. Like, you can be, I don't know, an ER nurse and just start playing Switch.
Yeah, you could absolutely do it. You could do it on the person during the surgery. You just put it on their stomach.
Set it on the part that's not open.
Yeah, well, hopefully, if we could ask for things. One last one, and this is the one they say that's also absolutely important: fireworks. If you're going to throw a 4th of July party, you have to throw down for some fireworks yourself and fire them off into the sky. This is a thing that is, in fact, required. I will say that you have to be safe about this. And I will remind people, as I have every year when I talk about this, that there was a specific 4th of July where my little brother, who was probably like 12 at the time, which is the worst age to allow a child to interact with any kind of fireworks, but he set a few up for my family at a park, and didn't realize he faced them at us and not up in the sky, and fired them. Nobody got hurt. Miraculously, my entire family is fine to this day, but he fired like 10 to 15 fireworks at his family as the celebration of the 4th of July. And then we told him he was never allowed to do that again. So be safe is the thing to say out there. But yeah, he really did try to attack us.
Was he coached? I mean, did somebody say, hey, point him in this direction? Or just like, hey, man, congratulations, 12 years old, rite of passage, start setting off fireworks.
Yeah.
Well done, you know?
Maybe he was coached, man. Maybe something happened we didn't know about. By the way,
these at Craig.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the names of fireworks are quite hilarious. People put together lists every year of some of the most ridiculous names of fireworks, and it always reminds people of that Joe Dirt scene where the guy is complaining to the fireworks stand, the character Joe Dirt, they don't have the fireworks he wants. I'll go ahead and play the Joe Dirt thing, and then we'll talk about some real firework names to see if you find them as funny as these fake ones are.
So you're going to tell me that you don't have no black cats, no Roman candles, or screaming mimes?
No.
Oh, come on, man. You don't got no lady fingers, buzz buttles, snicker bombs, church burners, finger blasters, gut busters, zippity doo-dahs, or crap flappers?
No, I don't.
Crap flapper.
You're going to stand there owning a fireworks stand and tell me you don't have no whistling bungholes, no spleen splitters, whisker biscuits, honky lighters, Husker do's, Husker don'ts, cherry bombs, nipsy daisers, with or without the scooter stick, or one single whistling kitty chaser?
No.
Terrible fireworks stand. Horrible in general. But yes, this is real. There's a lot of real silly names to fireworks, not just the ones Joe Dirt said. Some of my favorites out there, Redneck Finale is one of my favorite ones.
Great. Okay.
It is just a box.
It's a lot of M80s.
It's just a box that you would light that sits on the ground that seems like you shouldn't be lighting it, that fires off. The Popo Magnet is another one that's out there that you can buy. The Neighbor Hater. These are some classic ones. Shimmer Me Timbers is one that I liked a lot. Hashtag Light and Run is a new one that's out this year. And there's several other ones. Have you guys seen any of these silly names and liked any of them yourself or no?
I feel like the Popo Magnet, I mean, you light that and it's supposed to draw police attention. And
I think so.
And
Yeah.
I don't know why you would want to do that because you know half your fireworks are illegal anyway.
Yes. You know what I've also noticed? There's a weird version of a lot of things referencing cats. I don't know why people, and like the cat laser eye thing from the internet is on a lot of these boxes. When I think of fireworks, I don't necessarily think of
Meow.
cats. Yeah, thank you for that, Carl. One other one that I saw out there that I kind of liked as far as just crazy names of fireworks go, it's just called Watch This, and it's got a big exclamation point at the end of it. But you can buy a Watch This box and just fire that into the sun.
Isn't that what the U.S. military said to Iran?
Sure. Yeah, I believe they did. Nice joke, Carl. All right, we'll take a break. We got a lot coming up. Maybe some more firework names. Matt's got traffic for
The
you.
U.S. sent a bunch of M80s, so Iran doesn't have mailboxes anymore. That's people just
got him.
Yeah, no, got him. Northbound 65 stop and go traffic from. What is that? South Keystone Avenue up to the South Split. That's a construction zone. Yeah, we're really starting to grind around Raymond Street as we deal with that construction zone. Now, Carmel, northbound Keystone Parkway is jammed, 96th Street up to 106th Street. And traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear on the 5s at WIBC Traffic.
Hammer and Nigel here for our guy, Mark Deedle. Mark Deedle is the only real estate expert that we trust on the Hammer and Nigel show. And it's because he's helping Hoosiers every day, like Kevin and Angela in Greenwood. The big home was too much, and it was time for Dad to move into a maintenance-free community, but they needed cash from the home to fund the change. They reached out to the Mark Deedle team, and they were helped immediately with the entire process from selling belongings to prepping the home for maximum value. The home went on the market and sold for $5,000 over the asking price in less than a week. That's what Mark Deedle does. He's the only real estate agent that can guarantee your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price or deadline, or he will buy it. No long-term contracts. You pick the move date. You can cancel at any time. Call Mark Deedle today, 317-755-4232, or go to markdeedle.com.
If you used to hear a whole lot of this, but now you can barely hear this, you need to check out RelayIndiana.com and the Caption Telephone. The Caption Telephone allows you to get your groove back when using the telephone. It uses voice recognition technology so you can read on a bright screen what the other caller is saying. Go to RelayIndiana.com and add clarity back into your conversations with the Caption Telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Pat Sullivan here with Michaela of Michaelis. If you have water damage, why should you call Michaelis?
Michaelis is a local family-owned Indianapolis company with 39 years experience. On call 24/7, 365. We are IICRC certified and will restore your space to pre-loss condition or better. And we work through the entire insurance process on your behalf to make it easy.
Water, storms, fire, and mold. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIX-INDY.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Hey, it's Matt Bear for Conklin Exteriors. Don't wait to beautify your home for summer for a fresh new look and increased home value. New siding by Conklin Exteriors is the answer. From James Hardy fiber cement siding to a big array of vinyl siding colors and styles, the experienced pros at Conklin have all the choices, plus a lifetime workmanship warranty and over 10,000 satisfied customers. For your free estimate, call Conklin Exteriors at 317-ROOFING or visit ConklinExteriors.com. Tell them I sent you.
When you're high, you feel different. But if you feel different, you drive different. So don't drive high. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, what's happening at 21st and Emerson right now, why the Indiana Fever were popping champagne bottles in the locker room last night, and what Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith is saying about the one big, beautiful bill. Those stories after Fox News. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1, Indianapolis on a Wednesday, hump day. It's 7 o'clock.
Back to the House. I'm Chris Foster. Fox News. A House vote could come today on the so-called One Big Beautiful Tax and Spending Bill. A version changed from its original version in the House and passed by the Senate yesterday.
Stay united, have fun, and vote yay. That's President Trump's message to House Republicans ahead of a critical vote to give final approval to his tax and spending cuts bill.
It's a great bill. There is something for everyone.
Still, the measure must survive scrutiny from fiscal conservatives and moderates after changes to Medicaid funding and green energy investments made by Senate Republicans. And Elon Musk, who helped launch the Department of Government Efficiency, is threatening primary challenges for any Republican supporting the bill. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
President Trump settles a lawsuit with Paramount for $16 million without the apology he wanted over an edit in a 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris.
He sued for $20 billion, accusing the network of 2024 election interference. The settlement will cover items including legal fees and contributions to his future presidential library. In agreeing to the settlement, CBS is not acknowledging any journalistic wrongdoing. Carmen Roberts, Fox News.
There's a response from Hamas to a proposal from President Trump to end the fighting in Gaza with Israel.
Hamas says it's open to a ceasefire, but what it really wants is for the war in Gaza to end for good. The response is neither a straight yes or no to the US-backed plan. Yesterday, President Trump posted on social media about what he said was a final proposal for a 60-day ceasefire between Hamas and Israel.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The jury at Sean Diddy Combs' trial in New York resumes deliberations today on a racketeering conspiracy charge after reaching an undisclosed verdict on the other 4 charges of sex trafficking and transportation to engage in prostitution. Judge says 13 hours deliberating is not enough time to give up on reaching a verdict on all counts. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What's happening at 21st and Emerson on Indy's east side? You have a clear radar at 64 degrees in downtown Indianapolis, going up to 88 today. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 7:02. Drones, canines, and lots of cops right now on the corner of 21st and Emerson as a couple of people driving a car drove it into a fireworks store. They're trying to look for the people in that car. It's a chaotic scene. Matt Baer will unpack the impact to you in traffic here in a couple of minutes. You've probably heard that President Trump's one big, beautiful bill cleared the Senate and is now being debated about in the U.S. House. In Kosciuszko County last night, Indiana Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith talked about how he thinks the bill could benefit you if it passes.
I think it will be a great thing for America. It's going to codify the tax cuts for the middle class. I think it's going to bring business back into America like we've never seen before.
And Beckwith said it's too soon to know the full impact, but he and Governor Mike Braun believe the bill could help the middle class and bring businesses back to the United States. Indiana's cigarette tax just tripled yesterday, hitting smokers hard as a new law kicked in. Wish TV's Danielle Zukowski has what medical experts are saying about the impact.
The American Lung Association is in support of this tax increase, saying significant increases of about $1 can drive down tobacco use.
We know that increasing price on cigarettes is one of the biggest things we could do to prevent kids from starting to use these products and help current smokers quit.
Locally, one doctor says this is a step in the right direction. But smokers often need additional resources to quit smoking, including treating the underlying issue that drives people to smoke.
A willingness to be motivated to stop smoking, whether that's because of harm, whether that's because of cost.
Indiana just jumped the cigarette tax pack from $1 to $3. It's the 12th highest tax
in the United States. The Indiana Fever are champions this morning, and they're bringing the trophy home. Jarrett Lewis has that story.
For the first time in franchise history, the Indiana Fever are WNBA Commissioner's Cup champions after blowing out the Minnesota Lynx 74-59 in Minneapolis Tuesday night. Natasha Howard led the Fever in scoring with 16 points and wound up being MVP of the game.
Intercepted by Howard. Flash off to the races. Lefty layup. Timeout Lynx. Tosh is taking over.
John Nolan, the call on the Fever Radio Network. Howard is taking home around $35,000 for winning the game and the MVP award. Indiana will next host the Las Vegas Aces Thursday night in Indianapolis. Jarrett Lewis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com at 7:05. Traffic on the fives. Good morning, Matt Bear.
Ron, you're talking about this crash on the east side is 21st at Emerson Avenue, car versus building. And struck the building, and right now that's a spot I'd try to avoid if I could right now. Lots of police response. Same with 29th at MLK. That's police investigating a person shot way earlier this morning, taken to a hospital, listed in stable condition. Carmel, it's northbound Keystone Parkway, completely stopped. 96th Street up to 106. Northbound 65 on the south side, slow in pockets. Before Raymond Street up to the south split because of road construction. Traffic sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. Get a business insurance quote online in as little as 7 minutes. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the fives. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. Wish TV meteorologist Tara Hastings. Good morning. How does our weather look?
Hey, good morning. Boy, it feels fantastic out there. Humidity values have dropped. Temperatures are into the 60s this morning. We've got mostly sunny skies expected all day long. It will be a warm afternoon with highs near 86, but you will notice the humidity values much lower than what we've seen the last several days. Clear skies tonight, lows will fall to 68. On Thursday, mainly sunny skies. There is a slight chance we could see a spotty late afternoon shower or thunderstorm, mainly in the northern sections of Indiana. We'll get up to about 88. And then heading into the 4th of July, sunny and more humid with highs approaching 90.
Thank you very much, Tara. Right now, 7:06 Wednesday morning. County Katz Morning News, 93 WIBC. My name is Craig Collins filling in. Thrilled to be with you. A bunch of stuff to talk about. Speaker Mike Johnson has said that there are some weather delays that are causing some members of the House to struggle to get back in time to start voting on this bill. He did say this last night on Fox News. So maybe today, maybe tomorrow, voting might happen. There are some politicians that have already vocally claimed that they're going to vote no. Chip Roy of Texas among them. But here's a little bit of what Speaker Johnson said and how quickly he hopes to get this bill, the big, beautiful bill, passed again in the House after it was changed in the Senate.
We're having weather delays getting everybody back right now, but assuming we have a full House, we'll get it through the Rules Committee in the morning. We'll move that forward to the floor, and hopefully we're voting on this by tomorrow or Thursday at latest, depending on the weather, delays, and travel, and all the rest.
President Trump would really like to see it passed by the 4th of July, is something that he said and asked for, so we'll see if that happens. Other things out there that I think are interesting as far as the big, beautiful bill is concerned, Democrats have gone on the offensive on the typical Democratic places, where a whole bunch of people that I think they're already preaching to the choir on are watching and no one else is. But Jamie Raskin popped up to complain about the mega bill. And then when asked if he supported the no tax on tips provision, something that a lot of Americans think is a good idea and something that both Democrats and Republicans had campaigned on. If you remember, Kamala Harris offered no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, because she seemed to just like the stuff that Donald Trump was saying at the time. She seemed to want to borrow from everybody, apparently. But when Raskin was asked about this, he had a pretty hilarious answer for it.
No taxes on tips, which is part of this bill for working people who work on a tipped wage. Do you support that?
You know, I haven't looked seriously at it because I haven't thought they were serious about it.
I love that. You know, I didn't look at it. I hate this bill. I hate everything about it. I'm an expert on it. Thank you for bringing me on to talk about it. What do you think of the no tax on tips thing? One of the marquee things in the bill. You know what? I didn't read that part. I skipped over it. I did the thumb notes, the hashtag version of this. I didn't want to dive in deep. So I don't know. Get back to me later. This is how inauthentic and crappy these people are. All right. One other thing that I want to play, and this is horrible. This is a new number for the assaults on ICE agents and how far they've jumped up from last year to this year. The number was already in the 500+%, but it's gone up even more. This is on the heels of CNN specifically talking up an app that allows you to report where ICE agents are. And they claim, the app makers and CNN, that this is to help people avoid being apprehended by ICE agents. When the reality is a whole lot of people will use it to harm police officers, people who are just simply doing their job. Here is the latest number on this.
It's an important one, Will. A scary jump in the number of attacks on ICE agents, as they, of course, have been ramping up enforcement efforts under President Trump. DHS telling Fox today that assaults are up nearly 700%. There were 10 assaults from January through June last year. This year, 79 assaults. And to think some Democrats are throwing a fit over agents using face coverings as they arrest criminal illegal immigrants. Some say immigrants.
Yeah, he stumbled. Aliens, immigrants. I don't know why he stumbled over that. But yes, absolutely. I think this is horrible and despicable and not surprising. The way in which the left vilifies people, vilifies police officers, vilifies those who serve and protect our community, makes the next step in that, conversation unsurprising. And it is certainly unsurprising. All right, we'll take a break. In a little bit, we're going to talk about a crazy FBI story that came out, mostly because the people who are now in charge of the FBI, like Kash Patel, are willing to tell us the crappy stuff that they were doing behind the scenes. This one's a shocker. That's coming up in a little bit. This is Craig Collins filling in. Tony Katz, The Morning News, 93 WIBC.
The Indiana Derby is one of the best days of summer. It's the state's biggest horse racing event with over $1 million in total purse money on the line. This is Racing Rachel inviting you to Horseshoe Indianapolis, Saturday, July 5th for all the fun. The 31st running of the Indiana Derby has a loaded race card with 8 stakes races featuring some of the nation's top 3-year-old thoroughbreds. And off track at Horseshoe Indy, we've got loads of other Derby Day entertainment for fans too, like a free cigar rolling station for the first 500 people, $1,000 hat contest, a handicapping contest, plus mega bet drawing, magic mirror selfie station, food trucks, and more. All ages are welcome, plus admission and parking are free. First race goes off at noon, rain or shine, with plenty of seating both indoors and out. So join us for the 31st running of the Indiana Derby, July 5th at Horseshoe, Indianapolis, just off I-74 in Shelbyville. Come on out and have a day.
From marshmallow festivals to fireworks on the shore. No matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. During Hubler's Freedom to Drive, shop any of our 13 locations and choose from Chevys, Fords, Toyotas, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and more. Over 2,000 vehicles. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report.
'Cause Hubler's got you covered.
No matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles during our Freedom to Drive. Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 13 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Hi, this is Chris Cox, owner of Chimney Solutions Indiana. We're celebrating our 10th year in business. Call this month to take advantage of 10% off all chimney sweeps and inspections. We're also celebrating the opening of our new fireplace showroom on 86th Street and Lafayette Road. Come and experience our exclusive lines of wood-burning and gas fireplaces.
Call 317-557-6979 or chimneyindy.com.
Guys, Hammer and Nigel here. Don't live with tiredness and low energy. Get your life back with testosterone therapy at Low T Center. Take the test, get fast results, and start TRT with Indianapolis's leading experts in men's health.
Now it's easier than ever with the new Synergen X Health app, an innovation in healthcare technology you won't find anywhere else. Download right now or book an appointment while the test is still free at fixmylowt.com. fixmylowt.com.
Pat Sullivan here with exciting news from my friends at Hope Plumbing, now known as Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Hope now offers plumbing, heating, and air conditioning services, bringing total comfort to your home. No more dealing with multiple home service memberships. For only $8 a month, Hope is now your one-stop for safety and maintenance inspections and so much more. Make sure you're prepared for those Indiana summer heat waves with an AC tune-up by calling Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 641-HOPE.
Matt Bear, how do our roads look?
All right, Craig, over on the east side, 21st and Emerson Avenue. If you could stay clear of that, that would be great. Somebody drove into a building. And at 29th and MLK, police investigating a person shot from earlier this morning. Again, another spot you need to be careful in, especially that close to I-65. In Carmel, northbound Keystone Parkway stopped right now from 96th Street up to 106th Street. And we're slowing down on the south side through construction northbound 65, a little bit of slow between Keystone Avenue and Raymond Street. Traffic sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business 24/7. Get a business insurance quote online in as little as 7 minutes. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. More about the building that guy drove into in just a little bit here, which is crazy as far as the story this morning. Sunny, a high of 88 today, 65 right now in downtown Indianapolis. That temperature is brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center of 93 WIBC.
You ready to build your custom dream home? Check out Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield. See one of their model homes in person anytime. It is a great way for you to experience the customization and quality of a Joyner Homes custom-built home. Plus, you can meet with a new home specialist to learn about their building process. Available lots if you don't already have one. Find out about floor plans and where they build. Model homes are open 7 days a week from noon to 5, and walk-ins are welcome. Find out more at joynerhomes.com.
Tony Katz, the Morning News, 93 WIBC. My name is Craig Collins, filling in. Thrilled to be with you. A bunch of stuff to talk about. It is time for us to do our popcorn moment. That is brought to you by Boer Remodeling Company, BoerBuilding.com, BOOHER, building.com, BOOHER. If it's between your four walls, they're your only call. That is courtesy of Tony Katz. That's his catchphrase for them. 317-852-5546 is the phone number. 317-852-5546. Boer Remodeling Company. Fix stuff in your home with Boer. My catchphrase isn't as good as Tony's. All right, let's get to our popcorn moment. So I thought this was pretty interesting. Joy Reid had a heck of a take on the alligator Alcatraz that President Trump visited yesterday in Florida. This is a facility that you do not want to go to. It's a jail. That's not fun, because jails are not fun, or at least they're not supposed to be. Joy Reid apparently is claiming that it's designed specifically to house people that look like her, even though it's actually designed to house people who are in fact criminals, regardless of what they look like. Here we go.
But this aggressive move to deport any brown or black person that this regime can get their hands on in order to meet Stephen Miller's 3,000 brown person a day quota. They have a literal quota.
Insane is what she's saying. They do not have a 3,000 brown person a day quota. I love the way that media changes the names of how you refer to people that would be in trouble. Instead of calling people that are here illegally illegal immigrants or illegally, aliens, whatever you want to say, they call them people that have, that lack paperwork. They're undocumented individuals. And then this is the new one, the 3,000 brown people a day, which is not what this is. They are arresting people who are, in fact, also white. If those people are from other countries that are not allowed to be here, those individuals get arrested. And if they're violent, they're going to go to a place like Alligator Alcatraz. The real thing that's happening. There are people from countries that are not just brown, as Joy Reid would say it, places like China. We're arresting people and throwing them in jail, too. I love that they're not talking about that part. But nonetheless, this is full-on insanity. as I said, for several reasons, because it's designed to make you think that this is about something it's not about, so that you're angry about it, even if the reality is that most Americans, when polled, say that they would like to have people who don't have the right to be in this country sent back to whatever country they're supposed to be in. That's a simple thing that people believe in. At least they believe in now, after we saw things get completely out of hand during the last administration. And I will take this one step further, because I want to be clear about something. I am married to someone from another country. My wife was born and raised in Mexico. She's now a legal U.S. citizen. We got married and all that stuff. And so I do believe that there should be ways to change how people legally immigrate into our country. And I know that that may or may not be a popular thing to say, and I don't really care. But I do think you have to fix the problem first. And I've said this before, and I want to say it again for anyone that wants to call you a hater when you say something like people who are here illegally shouldn't get to stay. But I do want to see us fix the problem first and then go back to addressing how we make things better, especially if, say, a bunch of businesses wind up not having people to work jobs that they claim they won't have people to work jobs. If that really happens, if the wages, if all the things became, better, got improved because you couldn't hire people without rights to be here to do these things, and then no American still wanted the job, you can get a visa and bring people into this country to actually work these jobs. All those things could happen. And all those things could be, quote unquote, compassionate or loving or whatever Democrats want to claim they are. But first, you have to fix a problem. And you can't keep pretending the problem doesn't exist, which is what the left wants to do when they call this a brown person deportation, quota, and not what it actually is, people who are here illegally that shouldn't get to stay. All right, we're going to move on from the popcorn moment. Some other things out there. Matt Baer referenced this, so I have to talk about this. And he's got to reference it because it's a traffic story that's big today. Indianapolis Metropolitan Police responded Wednesday morning to a business that was burglarized on the east side and a car that crashed into the building. Matt, you have more information on this?
Yeah, Craig, it was over at 21st and Emerson Avenue. Ryan had this story and broke it during a 7 o'clock newscast. What it is somebody, it's a crash. I reported it as a crash, but somebody really, according to police, drove into a fireworks store at 21st and Emerson Avenue, and It seems like there are fireworks missing, that people were trying to rob the fireworks store indeed.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So somebody at 5:45 this morning decided a good idea would be to ram his car into a firework business and then take a bunch of the fireworks out of it.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at with preliminary information, Craig.
Cool.
I'm looking at the picture, and it just says fireworks, and I thought that it was kind of a drive-through fireworks store, but I think the drive-through place is where they ran into the building, so maybe I got that wrong.
I gotta be honest, man. Like, part of me thinks that I've seen enough movies that I would not want to ram my car into a fireworks store, because I would assume immediate explosion is what you'd actually get. Not that actually happened, but I would have pictured that fireworks are going off everywhere the minute he hits the building.
Oh, it's like one of those movies where the box of ammunition catches fire and then everything else goes off. Yeah. No, man, I think by your definition, we avoided a catastrophe this morning. And that's great. Great job by law enforcement. Very nice.
I love that. I love that statement. By my definition, we avoided a catastrophe, because that might be true all the time, man. I feel like there's a bunch of things that by my definition could very easily have been a catastrophe. Including ramming your car into the fireworks store. But this guy's an idiot, whoever did this, and I hope they catch him.
I think they're still at large. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And here's how I'd handle this. I'd just wait until later tonight, and everybody around 21st and Emerson, when they start shooting fireworks, round them up and bring them in for questioning. Where did you get the fireworks? I mean, what are you shooting there? Any chance that they came from this firework? I mean, that's what you do.
Just check the vehicles outside of the houses that are firing off the fireworks and see which one is...
the car door looking.
The door. See which one is severely damaged because it just ran into a building.
I think that's great police work. Absolutely.
It'll be great. I can help get this done. We can do this for the police in Indianapolis. We can solve this case by this evening. I love that. Another crazy story out of Indy from last night is the beloved performer, as she's described a whole lot of places. Her name is Red Panda. She's the woman who's on the unicycle, balancing the plates on her head. She fell at the beginning of her performance last night. I know she's over 50 years old. I don't know exactly how old Red Panda is, but this seemed like it might have been kind of bad. And a lot of people are saying their prayers are with Red Panda.
Well, I'm looking at this video now, and she's doing like a unicycle? Is that what you call this thing?
Yeah.
And riding around, and she's a great performer, a showman.
She is.
Has the hands out doing the, and then she falls what looks to be like almost, I don't know, one floor worth of fall onto your butt and legs onto a hardwood court. Okay,
Not
that's
good.
going to be painful if in your 20s, let alone your 50s, and with this guy, the late 40s. So, I mean, I hope she's okay, man. I mean, I know everybody loved her. It sucks that she fell.
Can I be honest about something, though, man? I'm shocked this is one of the only times she's ever fallen. Because, like, you know, when you see that thing at the game where the person is riding the unicycle with the plates on their head, part of you thinks, like, they've had to have been injured multiple times in their life doing that. Even acquiring that skill, I don't feel like you can do it safely. You have to do it in a way where you're going to get injured at least a few times. And so I'm hoping that she's okay. But I got to tell you, when I heard that the lady on the unicycle fell over, to me it sounded like an inevitability, not the kind of thing that's like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened.
Well, when she falls, it does look like that she's a trained faller. She kind of extended her legs and kind of got as much as of her butt as you possibly can when you hit that hardwood floor.
Right.
So, I hope she's okay. I mean, that's a fan favorite, and it's really I respect the hell out of anybody that could do something like that. But yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to enjoy the show watching it live because I'm like, oh, she's gonna fall. She's gonna fall.
Yeah.
I know she's gonna fall, and
then she does.
It might take the fun out of it for me. But.
By the way, I do love that you called her a trained faller because a buddy of mine is a parkour professional. And to this day, he has claimed that he's a trained faller, and I don't know that that exists. I feel like no matter how you fall, even if you do it to minimize damage, you're still falling, and you're still hurting yourself.
But parkour, that's like where you're running on walls, right? Doing the wall run like Matrix and Neo and things like that, and making your hands do crazy things. So, yeah, you'd have to be a trained faller. Otherwise, you'd bring multiple bones. I mean, that's.
I got to be honest, too, man. It's funny to talk to that guy as we get older because the version of him in the 20s and the version of him in the 40s are very different people as far as what parkour he's doing and what parkour he's not doing because he doesn't want. But he's a professional. He gets paid money. He's got a sneaker deal, all kinds of things.
I imagine that's what it's like for the guys from Jackass as they get older. Be like, man, I really wish I hadn't stapled that to my leg. Because now that's starting to sting as I get into my 50s.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, all these broken bones are coming back to haunt me a little bit here. You know?
Although I will be honest, too, and I know we got to take a break in just a second. The Jackass guys seem like they're more willing to do extra dumb stuff because they seem to care less as they get older, too. You know, like the risk they're taking now. Didn't Johnny Knoxville get kicked by like a horse?
Something, I'm sure.
Okay.
It all happened at one point or another.
That feels like a real dumb thing to try to do. And yet there's so many of those dumb things they do. And it seems like now they're like, whatever. And if I die, I die. All right, we'll take a break. A lot coming up. That got dark. Matt's got traffic for us.
Looking at 21st and Emerson, as we discussed, please avoid as we have a vehicle into a building. And 29th and MLK, be careful in this area. Police are investigating a shooting from earlier this morning that's really close to I-65. Again, 29th and MLK, police investigation there. Northbound Keystone Parkway, Carmel, stop from 96th Street up to 106th Street. And then on the south side, northbound 65 slows from Keystone Avenue up to the south split. That is a construction zone. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors from 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Hammer and Nigel show back at it this afternoon. We've got Alex Marlowe from Breitbart. Tony Kennett will join us, and we're going to have a lot of laughs. 93 WIBC.
Matt Bear here for Trajan Wealth. There's so much to consider when planning your retirement portfolio. So much out of control. There's inflation, economic policy that fluctuates, new laws and interest rates. All of this can affect the financial markets in the short term. However, we can't plan our retirement impulsively and change the way we invest in response to Wall Street. Instead, Trajan Wealth will help you review your strategy and make sure it's right for your goals, risk tolerance, and time horizon. Call and set your first appointment with Trajan Wealth at 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Trajan Wealth will help you decide what to do. They're fiduciaries, meaning they act in your best interest only. They've earned my trust. Give them a chance to earn your trust as well. Call today to learn more. 317 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Remember, your first appointment is on them. 317-480-4040. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Summertime's here, so get a hot summertime deal at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get Lincoln's employee pricing on most all new Lincolns. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Navigators. Up to $8,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Come and see why the Roush family has served the community for over 53 years at Tom Roush Lincoln.
Navigator MSRP 105-195. Nautilus MSRP 60-195. 2025 Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you, by phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliate.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Taking extreme measures to try to break into an Indianapolis business. Your radar is clear at 64 degrees in downtown Indianapolis, going up to 88. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 7:31. Broken glass, drones, and crime scene tape. That's what you see right now if you drive to 21st and Emerson, as a couple of people driving a car drove it through a fireworks store to try to get what was in the store. They did not. They ran away when the cops were called. Now there's drones and canines all over the place. Stay away from 21st and Emerson if you can. Matt Baer has more coming up in traffic in minutes. President Trump is pushing for fast approval of his tax and spending plan before a self-imposed 4th of July deadline.
Stay united, have fun, and vote yay. That's President Trump's message to House Republicans ahead of a critical vote to give final approval to his tax and spending cuts bill.
It's a great bill. There is something for everyone.
Still, the measure must survive scrutiny from fiscal conservatives and moderates after changes to Medicaid funding and green energy investments made by Senate Republicans this week. And Elon Musk, who helped launch the Department of Government Efficiency, is threatening primary challenges for any Republican supporting the bill. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Hoosier political leaders are reacting to the passage of that bill out of the Senate as it gets to the House. Indiana Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith gives the bill a thumbs up.
I think it will be a great thing for America. It's going to codify the tax cuts for the middle class. I think it's going to bring business back into America like we've never seen before.
And Beckwith was at a town hall in Kosciuszko County last night where nearly 100 people showed up. The jury in the Sean Diddy Combs trial gets back to work in about 90 minutes.
No jury decision has been announced, but Tuesday, the 8 men and 4 women told the judge they were unanimous on the 2 charges each of sex trafficking and transportation for prostitution. However, it is split on the racketeering charge. To what degree is not known. The jury's note to the judge indicates that some members were unpersuadable. The judge agreed with the lawyers on both sides that 2 days, considering complicated evidence, is too soon to settle on a deadlocked charge. One family friend said Combs is feeling anxious about the decision to come.
Near Beech Grove, a drug deal, a shooting, and now a teenager charged as an adult. That's what Marion County prosecutors say is happening with a kid named Emmanuel Carter, who they say shot and killed an 18-year-old woman near Beech Grove last year during a drug deal gone bad. Funeral arrangements have been announced for televangelist Jimmy Swaggart, who died on Tuesday at the age of 90. A public viewing will happen this weekend in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Sports on WIBC is brought to you by Ball State Athletics. Visit ballstatesports.com. The Indiana Fever are bringing home a trophy after winning the WNBA Commissioner's Cup, beating the Minnesota Lynx last night 74-59. They pulled it out without Caitlin Clark, who missed the game because of a groin strain.
Caitlin's a player who has a high usage rate, has the ball in her hands a lot, and learning to play without her, learning to make big plays in tough moments on both ends of the floor is important.
And that's head coach Stephanie White.
They're learning how to play together. They're learning how to make plays for one another. Caitlin's somebody who's oftentimes make plays for them, and they're learning how to do that for one another.
And the Fever split a $500,000 prize purse, each player taking home $30,000. Natasha Howard named Games MVP. And Chicago Cubs starter Matthew Boyd shut down his former team, going 7 strong innings for his 8th win of the year, 5-2 victory over the Cleveland Guardians. And the Cubbies are waking up top the NL Central this morning. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. At 7:35, traffic on the 5s. What are you watching for us, Matt Bear?
Well, keeping it on the east side, Ryan. It's 21st and Emerson. Car into a building, and police are looking for the suspects right now. If you could be careful in that area, that would be awesome. Looking in Carmel, northbound Keystone Parkway jammed. 96th Street to 106. East side, northbound 465 slow from 70 up to East 56. South side traffic in the construction zone. It's northbound 65 that drags from Keystone Avenue up to the South Split. Northwest side, northbound 465 stop and go from 86th Street up to 865. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. Right now, it looks like it is going to be a pretty nice day here in Indianapolis. The forecast is calling for a high 80s temperature, and right now in downtown Indianapolis, no forecast of any sort of rain of any kind. 88, the actual high. 65 in downtown Indy. That temperature brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. 93 WIBC.
We all have people in our lives we interact with. Maybe it's your favorite barista, a neighbor who waves to you every morning, a coworker you grab lunch with, or maybe it's me, the hairstylist you've gone to for years. What if you learned I had a substance use disorder? Would it change how you see me? It's okay to see the addiction, but when you choose to see the person, not just their disease, it can help change someone's life. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
Tony Katz, the Morning News, 93 WIBC. My name is Craig Collins, filling in. Thrilled to be with you. It's time for our Facebook Marketplace segment, brought to you by Indiana Unclaimed. Indiana Unclaimed is a great place to go if you want some cash that you don't know they owe you. IndianaUnclaimed.gov, put in your info. You'll be able to search for anything and everything that looks like it's you, and then actually tell them, hey, give me my money, and they'll do it. They actually will send you a check in the mail, even if you no longer live in Indiana. But did in the past. They will send you some sweet, sweet, delicious money. Both Matt Bear and I have gotten money doing this. And I don't know what you actually spent it on. Do you know what you spent your Indiana Claim money on?
I can't remember exactly. I know it was like $110 from places
Nice.
that I haven't lived in since like my 20s. One of them was a little side apartment that was the size of a bread box. And
Hey,
for living there, I in all these places, I ended up with like $120. It was really cool.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I got like $15. So I think it might still be sitting in my wallet, right? I'm not sure what I'm going to spend my Indiana Unclaimed money on, but it's going to be something big. It's going to be something awesome. And actually, here is when we talk about some of the most ridiculous things you can find on Facebook Marketplace as well, because there's a lot of really ridiculous stuff on there. I've said this before, and I don't understand it. It's not my specific item that I want to highlight, but there are planes that you can buy on Facebook Marketplace. You're aware of this, right?
No, I didn't. You can buy airplanes,
Yes. Single engine planes that they say you don't even need like an actual license to fly.
Oh.
These are purchasable. And I can't fathom buying one of those and explaining it to my wife. When I go pick up the plane at the other guy's house.
You fly
from
home.
Facebook. Yeah, right. Yeah, and to drive it home on the back of my car. And I'm like, yeah, I got that today. I only had to pay him $15,000. And I bought this plane from some dude.
That's awesome.
But anyway, the item I wanted to highlight, and this is not necessarily as silly as I intend to be with this. I just thought it was kind of cool. There's an autographed IU bowling ball signed by Bobby Knight that's available right now. It's brand new, listed on Facebook Marketplace. The listing is new. $500, their best offer. Legendary Bobby Knight and thank you. And his Indiana University bowling ball. Not the thing I would have most assumed you'd have an autograph of Bobby Knight on. I would assume someone had brought him a basketball, not a bowling ball to sign. But that's not what happened. Someone had a bowling ball, and apparently it's a thing that's out there.
Did Bobby Knight actually use it? Did he throw it onto the court like a chair? And try to go.
I would so buy it. If Bobby Knight had hurled it at somebody, I would buy this thing.
Hoosiers would take it on Illinois, and he just rolled it out into the middle of the court because he's mad about a technical foul.
Yes,
that could be fun.
Absolutely true. That would be fun. That would be great. But this is cool, and I don't know who's going to wind up buying it. I love that it says it's still currently in stock. One of a kind, never drilled or used, actually is listed here. So apparently Bobby never threw it at anything.
Mint condition bowling ball here.
Yeah, he just signed it. I wonder how that went, by the way, when the guy plucked the bowling ball out of the bag and was like, hey, can you sign this, Mr. Knight? And he was like, I guess so. I don't understand why this is happening, but sure, we'll go ahead and do it.
I would love to be there to see it happen. I mean, that's a really good question. How did this come about where you get an autograph on a bowling ball from Bobby Knight? I mean, this is a great collector's item for any Hoosier fan. I know it's $500, and who has that to throw around, especially in a bowling ball right now? But I know here in Indiana, we love our Bobby Knight. They love their Bobby Knight, and they would love to absolutely have this as a collector's item. Of course, you don't drill holes in it, and of course, you don't use it. It's something you put on your mantle. It's a Bobby Knight bowling ball, autographed.
Are you a signature guy, by the way? If you're around somebody famous, have you ever asked for a signature?
I can barely write my name, Craig. Oh, wait, that's not what you're asking.
No, I don't mean have you signed stuff for people. I meant have you asked for one from somebody else, Matt?
Wow, it's been a long time. The last autograph I received was from Tony Dungy. It was after a Colts game, and he was coming out with his entourage, and my dad and I were standing there. I was half of the bag, of course, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go get Tony Dungy's autograph. And he was surrounded, and Dad's like, maybe that's not. Oh, and I'd already, ducked underneath the rope. You're not supposed to. I just kind of walked up to him like, hey, Tony Dungy. I'm just, whatever, blotto. And I'm like, hey, can you sign my
you got it.
He looked at me. Looked at my program, because that's all I had in my head, and he signed it, gave it back to me without looking at me again. Like, you better get out of my way before these people that are bigger than you send you off in an unfavorable manner. But no, he was he was a really cool guy, and everybody loves Tony Dungy. Yeah, but that was the last one I got because it's never been a big thing with me. It's just I don't get starstruck by the common people, by just famous people. I like people. That's the people I get starstruck by. People that are doing things that I can relate to or that I'm motivated by, that inspire me. That's what
I think I've mentioned it before in the show. I'm not a picture taker or a autograph asker either. I feel like in those moments, it's that I get that 30 seconds near the famous person to pretend as though they are just a regular person. And I like doing that. I get an ego boost out of standing next to the famous guys, having the conversation, and just being like, all right, anyway, sir, over here is where you're going. Usually I interact with these people in a professional setting anyway. And a bunch of my coworkers in radio have always been the opposite. They take the photo, they get the signature, and so eventually they share it on social media for years to come. The next birthday of this famous person, they're throwing up their photo with them. I'm jealous of that, but I'm happy in the moment when I don't ask for the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's your level of autograph? I mean, say a Molly Ringwald was at a PopCon or something, and you're like, I can go get Molly Ringwald's. Or does it have to be I don't know, Anna Kendrick or some big name? I mean, are you happy with getting autographs from people of your youth, or does it have to be the end thing?
Yeah, I love that Molly Ringwald was your first point of reference. You're like, what are you doing here? You got Molly standing next to you. What are you doing? Yeah, right. I learned that my autograph level is off the charts stupid because I sat next to Muhammad Ali for a baseball game and didn't ask him for an autograph.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
wow. Didn't have a conversation or anything.
Well, he wasn't as he was not healthy. So a lot of people that I was working with, and it was a professional setting. I was actually announcing, this was in Indiana. I was announcing a high school championship game for a minor league facility that was hosting it. and someone knocked on. I feel like I've told this story on the air before. Someone knocked on my press booth, and I'm alone because it's a Saturday, and it's not, an actual minor league baseball game. It's a high school thing. And somebody goes, "Hey, can Muhammad Ali come in here?" And I laughed at the person. I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. Bring anybody." And I closed the door. And then 2 minutes later, Muhammad Ali walked into the press box and sat next to me. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. And then a whole bunch of people that I work with came in and were getting autographs and photos and everything with him. And I just sat next to him. And every time he looked at me, he smiled. And I felt like that was valuable.
Why was he there?
He was there to watch a family member that was playing in the game.
I mean, you could look. He probably appreciated the fact you weren't asking for an autograph.
I think
all
so.
These people were. He's just like, here's this cool guy I can sit next to and just kind of hang out with for a moment.
Yeah. Well, and my favorite part, by the way, and this is actually true. I know people think that I made this part up. On the TV that was in my little press booth to the left of me that Muhammad would see when he sat down was the classic fight of him losing to Joe Frazier. Like that was on TV playing on ESPN Classics, and I swear he looked at it, and the first thing he did is like a little laugh, like that thing, and then looked away. But then was very nice, and I changed the channel immediately after I realized what was on. I was like, "Well, watch something else, sir."
Okay, I thought you meant that he put that on TV, like he had a videotape.
No. It was on ESPN Classic. It just happened to be the thing in the corner when Muhammad Ali showed up to watch a baseball game with me.
That's crazy.
I know we're up on traffic. We'll take a break for traffic, but that's when I learned, Matt Bear, that I have no line. I will not ask for an autograph no matter who you are, because the greatest boxer of all time sat next to me for 9 innings of baseball, and I did nothing. And I don't know why I did nothing. I regret that to this day. All right, we'll take a break. A lot coming up. That's got traffic.
All right, south side, northbound 65, stop and go traffic from South Keystone Avenue up to the south split. That's because of construction. On the east side, northbound 465, stop and go from 72 Penn Pike. Carmel, northbound Keystone Parkway, jammed from 96th Street up to 106th. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 Cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
All right. Okay, I got to do weather, too. I'm still thinking about Muhammad Ali and how much of a moron I am. Your weather forecast for today, a high of 88. Right now, it is 67 in downtown Indianapolis. That temperature brought to you by the American Standard Heating and Cooling Weather Center of 93 WIBC.
Everybody knows Hubler's got the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles. But did you know? Now you can get that same limited powertrain warranty on new Toyotas. Introducing the all-new Hubler Toyota. Get grand opening savings all month long. And right now, lease a new RAV4, just $349 per month. Or a new Tacoma, $299 per month. Plus, choose from Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, and more.
Hubler's got you covered.
At the all-new Hubler Toyota on US 31 South in Indianapolis. Visit HublerToyota.com. Grand opening savings and the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Cover me!
Select models. Approved credit. Plus tax tag title license 199 dealer doc. RAV4 model 4432. Tacoma model 7540. 36 months. $29.99 due. Zero security. 10,000 annual miles. 15 cents per mile thereafter. Expires 7/7.
If you're struggling with weight and frustrated with dieting each and every year, Mark Patrick Seminars can help.
After this hypnosis, I want to eat good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think about desserts like I used to.
Bridget, how much have you lost now?
I had lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful. And I would just say go for it.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Seminar Thursday, July 31st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30, stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, August 2nd, Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m., stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ziprecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
We all have people in our lives we interact with. Maybe it's your favorite barista, a neighbor who waves to you every morning, a coworker you grab lunch with, or maybe it's me, the hairstylist you've gone to for years. What if you learned I had a substance use disorder? Would it change how you see me? It's okay to see the addiction, but when you choose to see the person, not just their disease, it can help change someone's life. Learn more at seebeyondtheaddiction.org.
Hensley Legal Group is one of those firms that puts the client above all else.
We pride ourselves in caring and communication. We're extremely passionate about helping them through their tough times. We truly want to see our clients get better.
It happens. Hire Hensley.
Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. Get a business insurance quote online in as little as 7 minutes. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com.
The countdown is on. The golf outing powered by Franciscan Health is coming up fast Thursday, August 7th at the Legends Golf Club in Franklin. Grab your crew for a day of fairway fun. Don't wait. Lock in your spot now at 1075thefan.com.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
101 West Ohio, Indianapolis. CordellCordell.com.
Johnny Gatz, Morning News, 93 WIBC. My name is Craig Collins, filling in. Thrilled to be with you. A bunch of stuff out there to talk about. This was interesting. It went kind of viral yesterday. Indiana University, IU, and several other schools in Indiana have eliminated certain degree programs. I think IU specifically had talked about how 19% of the degree programs they had there were eliminated. The way that this is all couched, and by the way, Matt Baer and Carl are hanging out as they do every single morning on the show. The way this is all couched is that it's responding to certain government funding and whatnot. But here's the part that was buried in it. Out of the programs that were suspended, more than half of them had no students enrolled, like in these degrees and these majors. So I ask a more simple question. Don't you eventually get rid of degrees as a university if no one is signing up to be a part of those degrees, more so than doing it as a response to any sort of government funding or lack thereof? If no one wants a, specific, I guess, bachelor's in something, if you don't want to be a fine arts major anymore or whatever it is that you're not studying, isn't it going away just a byproduct of no one wanting that gig?
Here's how I understand selecting this for college. In the many colleges I attended and in many degrees I didn't get. I remember trying to sign up for these big classes, these big mandatory classes you had to have to graduate. And we're talking about like 100, 200 level courses, something 101, something 201, things like that. And the classes being closed. When I went to IUPUI, there's a political science class I remember not being able to get into. But whatever, it wasn't you go take something else and you move along with your life. My theory would be if you don't need these other degree programs, you can cancel them and then put more resources into the classes that we actually have to graduate. And I'm all for that. I don't know what these degrees are they're shutting down. I mean, just because there are no kids enrolled into classes for this particular semester doesn't mean there won't be for the next semester. So hopefully they're doing this with a little bit of discern, just slowly being methodical about it instead of just slashing all these degree programs. But if it leads to availability for other classes you have to graduate and to make yourself a better professional, I'm all for it. I just don't have enough information on it so far.
Now, I get it, but I do think that if nobody's enrolled, like no one, it's uniquely probably not a very popular degree. I don't think that there's going to be like 500 students that enroll in the second semester of a school year if no one is enrolled. In like 70 of the degrees they got rid of, over the 100 or something they got rid of, had no students. And so if I was a teacher for one of those programs, I'd be like, oh man, my class that had no students in it just got canceled. That would be unsurprising as far as a, end result there.
That professor was probably getting paid too.
Probably. Yeah, I would assume making a pretty decent amount of money. But that's my guess. Even if there are like 10 students that were really excited second semester to sign up for this course, I don't know that that's enough to keep going. And that, I just thought it was funny because it was buried in the story itself. Like the whole big overarching message is, funding went away because the government's terrible. And then another part of it is, and also no one has interest in studying these things, at least right now. All right, we'll take a break. We got a lot coming up. Matt's got some traffic for us. Tony Katz, the Morning News, 93 WIBC. I'm Craig Collins.
All right, Craig, looking at the south side, northbound 65 stop and go traffic through construction from Keystone Avenue up to the south split. That is a construction zone. Carmel, Keystone Parkway heading north at stop 96th Street to 106. That's Keystone Parkway. And then on the northwest side, northbound 465 slow from 86 to 865. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
The Indiana Derby is one of the best days of summer. It's the state's biggest horse racing event with over $1 million in total purse money on the line. This is Racing Rachel inviting you to Horseshoe Indianapolis, Saturday, July 5th for all the fun. The 31st running of the Indiana Derby has a loaded race card with 8 stakes races featuring some of the nation's top 3-year-old thoroughbreds. And off track at Horseshoe Indy, we've got loads of other Derby Day entertainment for fans too, like a free cigar rolling station for the first 500 people, $1,000 hat contest, a handicapping contest, plus mega bet drawing, magic mirror selfie station, food trucks, and more. All ages are welcome, plus admission and parking are free. First race goes off at noon, rain or shine, with plenty of seating both indoors and out. So join us for the 31st running of the Indiana Derby, July 5th at Horseshoe, Indianapolis, just off I-74 in Shelbyville. Come on out and have a day.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What do you got to lose? Call us 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America, common sense government, and peace through strength.
Trump country is booming. We're building, hiring, and winning in Indiana because energy tax credits put America first, bringing manufacturing jobs home and creating a stronger middle class.
Jobs and factories will come roaring back into our country. More production at home will mean stronger competition and lower prices for consumers.
And America's comeback depends on American energy. Senator Young, keep what works. Don't repeal energy tax credits. Paid for by Built for America.
Have recent storms caused damage to your roofing or siding? Cochran Exteriors is now offering free inspections to assess the condition of your home, from blown-offs to full replacements. Cochran Exteriors knows the insurance process and will make your home as good as new as fast as possible. Trust a company that was here before the storm and will be long after. For your free, no-obligation consultation, schedule today at CochranExteriors.com or call 317-ROOFING. Cochran Exteriors, referred for a reason for over 15 years.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZzzQuil Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Pat Sullivan here with exciting news from my friends at Hope Plumbing, now known as Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Hope now offers plumbing, heating, and air conditioning services, bringing total comfort to your home. No more dealing with multiple home service memberships. For only $8 a month, Hope is now your one stop for safety and maintenance inspections and so much more. Make sure you're prepared for those Indiana summer heat waves with an AC tune-up by calling Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 641-HOPE.
Hammer and Nigel show back at it this afternoon. We've got Alex Marlowe from Breitbart. Tony Kennett will join us, and we're going to have a lot of laughs. 93 WIBC.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, the top stories of the morning, including what's going on at 21st and Emerson. After Fox News, you're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 8 o'clock.
We've got all the cards and we're going to use them. I'm Chris Foster. Fox News, President Trump on Truth Social there is pushing House Republicans to pass the so-called One Big Beautiful bill passed by the Senate yesterday with no votes to spare. House Speaker Mike Johnson could hold a vote on final passage today.
This is no longer just a House bill. It's not a Senate bill. It's the bill of the people, of the hardworking American people, and we are going to deliver it.
Republican opposition so far not enough to hold it back.
That Rules Committee debated the bill for about 12 hours last night and will take it up with the full House of Representatives about 9 this morning, and a vote is expected later today. House Speaker Mike Johnson told our own Sean Hannity last night he expects the big, beautiful bill to pass. And the just two House Republicans voted against reporting the bill out of the Rules Committee. Ralph Norman and Chip Roy, who have long expressed reservations over this bill that now totals some 940 pages. No Democrats voted to advance it. And, of course, the Republicans can only afford to lose 3 votes if all Democrats vote against it.
It's Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in D.C. There's a settlement worth at least $16 million in President Trump's lawsuit against CBS parent company Paramount over edits to a Kamala Harris interview the president called election interference. A man accused of stabbing 4 University of Idaho students to death in 2022 is expected in court today to change his plea to guilty.
We expect Brian Kohberger will enter guilty pleas to all 4 counts of first-degree murder and that 1 count of felony burglary. He will waive his right to any appeal on these charges moving forward. There will be a sentencing date that will be set likely a month out from now, where he will receive those 4 consecutive life sentences without parole. And this is all to take the death penalty off the table, which his team has been fighting for since it was filed notice of this years ago. We could expect the prosecution to lay out some of the facts that support this, but as far as any details of the crime, we may not be hearing those this afternoon.
Fox's Chanley Painter in Boise. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A car, a store, a crash, and lots of cops. Your radar is clear. It's a beautiful morning in downtown Indianapolis. 66 degrees, going up to 88 today. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 8:02. Someone thought it would be a good idea to drive a car into a fireworks store this morning at 21st and Emerson on Indy's east side. Police say the people in the car targeted Big Wick Fireworks. At least 2 people were seen entering the store, stealing fireworks before loading them up into a getaway car and leaving before the cops got there. Right now, IMPD is using a drone, K9, and a bunch of cops to try to track these people down. In Minneapolis last night.
There's the horn. Final score, Fever 74, Lynx 59. And for the first time in franchise history, the Indiana Fever are WNBA Commissioner's Cup champions.
John Nolan with the call on the Indiana Fever Radio Network. Natasha Howard was the MVP of the game and took home an additional $35,000. $5,000 for winning the MVP and $30,000 for the purse, the $500,000 that both teams split. The Fever still 8-8 as this game did not count in the standings. They play the Las Vegas Aces in Indy on Thursday night. Federal agents say stolen guns tied to shootings, carjackings, and drug dealing were traced back to an Indianapolis shipping center where the weapons were first reported missing after being sold on the black market.
Bruce Williams and Ryan Hurt were both working at that shipping center. They roped in other people like Malik Mendez and Antonio Grant to help steal and sell those guns 3 years ago. Some guns were also sold to Kevin Jones Jr., Dominique Ellison, and Zachary Doss. So far, only over 60 of those guns were found 2 months ago, many of which were spotted in some Indiana cities, as well as Chicago, Florida, and Oklahoma. Jake McDaniel, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
Trying to meet up with a 14-year-old girl is what cops in Evansville said a man tried to do. Here's Jarrett Lewis.
Instead, the man was met by a predator-catcher group. They recorded the whole encounter. According to the Vanderburgh County Sheriff's Office, 55-year-old Clifton Dardine was arrested and is now charged with 2 counts of child solicitation. He's being held in the Grant County Jail on a $50,000 bond. Vanderburgh County Sheriff Noah Robinson added that although the group is working to catch child predators, this may have been an instance where they were not being helpful. Jarrett Lewis, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
If you haven't heard by now, the Indiana Pacers lost a player yesterday, Miles Turner, the center. And of all teams, he's going to the Milwaukee Bucks to team up with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. At 8:05, traffic on the 5s. Here's Matt Bear.
Southside traffic in the construction zone. Northbound 65 slows from Keystone Avenue into the South Split. 21st and Emerson, car into a building. They're cleaning it up. Please be careful in the area. East side northbound 465 slows from 70 up to East 56th Street. Northwest side northbound 465 slows from 86th Street up to 865. Traffic sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers auto, home, and commercial auto insurance plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit progressive.com today. Again, that's progressive.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. No other way to say it. Car into a building. That was well done. Tara Hastings. Tara Hastings, good morning with Wish TV, meteorologist. How does our weather look?
Hey, good morning. We've got mostly sunny skies out there right now. Lower humidity. It feels refreshing with temperatures into the 60s this morning. Now, later this afternoon, we'll warm up to 86. Look for lots of sunshine, and still humidity values will remain low. Clear tonight, 68. We'll get up to 88 degrees on Thursday, mostly sunny. A spotty late afternoon shower or storm possible, I think, mainly in the northern part of the state. Then we crank up the heat and humidity for your Friday, Independence Day. Sunny and humid with highs near 90.
Thank you very much, Tara. Right now, 8:06 Wednesday morning. Tony Katz, the Morning News, 93 WIBC. My name is Craig Collins filling in. You remember when President Biden was in office, or at least the husk of President Biden was there, and the auto pen seemed to be our president. That was especially mean and yet true. So I'm not taking it back. Anyway, when that was happening, gas prices were skyrocketing. And the biggest thing that the administration told us is the president can't impact gas prices. How dare you? Seem to think that, I don't know, a war on energy might make gas more expensive. Well, what has happened since President Trump took office? A whole bunch of mainstream media lets you know, without giving any credit to the president, of course, that things are going pretty well as far as gas prices are concerned.
It's pretty good news for millions of drivers expecting to hit the road for the 4th of July weekend.
It looks like gas prices are about to get cheaper.
Gas prices are currently the lowest that they've been since 2021.
Yeah,
the
baby.
lowest since 2021.
Hitting a 4-year low.
This doesn't just apply locally. Trends are being seen nationwide.
Including in Michigan, where it's about 42 cents cheaper to fill up than it was this time last year.
Wow.
Pennsylvania, Illinois, Nevada, a number of other states seeing significant drops.
Gas prices are much lower than we have seen in recent years.
$2.68 per gallon, or more than a dozen stations in Duval and St. Johns County.
Man, that's crazy. It seems like things are going well. The president and the White House actually put that out via social media and said they're calling it the Trump effect. One of the things that a whole lot of people who voted for President Trump said during the election is, I missed the gas prices while he was in office. And somehow they've gone down. It's miraculous. It's crazy. Again, as mainstream media would tell you, it's impossible that it could be connected to the president, even though when you have a president in the White House again, who's going after energy as one of his He actually said it on the campaign trail messages. Gas prices skyrocket upward. And when you have someone who's saying drill, baby, drill, gas prices somehow go down. It's so weird. It's so strange how that can be true. And then, of course, mainstream media wouldn't lie to you. Of course, I can't say that with a straight face. Of course, they're not going to tell you things that they know are false. All right, let's do this. Chuck Schumer was very upset yesterday about U.S. aid going away. And he threw out a new set of fears that I guess he has now that Trump has been successful in defunding a just ridiculously fraudulent part of our government system. What could be next? My favorite reactions to this Chuck Schumer audio are all the people that are saying, I accept these terms. These are totally fine with me. I would not be upset if this is what happens next. Here's Chuck Schumer.
Also know this is just the beginning. If DOJ attacks USAID today, then you can be sure they'll move on to another target tomorrow.
No!
Who knows? Maybe it'll be the Postal Service or the IRS or even the Social Security Administration.
Oh,
they
no.
could be next. Or maybe our national security agencies.
Oh, no. They'd actually go after our intelligence agencies. How dare they? Or did he say the IRS? Oh, that would be terrible. Please don't do that. I love that version of fear-mongering. Not that it's not an idea that has already been certainly considered by DOJ and anyone on the right, and honestly, most Americans, but like we'd uniquely represent it. I love the person who also wrote, "Don't threaten me with a good time," because this sounds amazing. The Department of Education, all this stuff that could go away and we wouldn't miss it. The only thing we'd notice is that our taxes would be even lower because we wouldn't be wasting money on dumb things. But I love that he went viral assuming that a whole bunch of individuals would react by saying, this is horrible, this is terrible, we can't let this happen, because the exact opposite is easily true. One last thing, Paramount has agreed to pay $16 million to President Trump over the 60 Minutes video they edited of Kamala Harris answering questions different than the ones that are being aired. They would ask her a question, and then since her answer was terrible, and it was a logic circle that she would get herself in, they just found a different answer that sounded like it was for that question and put that in there. The biggest reason they're doing this, according to many people online, and myself certainly included in this group, is to prevent a discovery process. And the Trump team is allowing for these giant settlements to be offered, mostly because it's $16 million. And even if Paramount says that no wrongdoing is being admitted, you don't give $16 million to someone else because you did nothing wrong. That's not usually the process there. But if discovery had happened in any of these cases, we would have got access to emails, to all kinds of discussions, text messages between people at places like CNN or CBS and the organizations that they were coordinating with. It would have been amazing to see the background discussions going on there. It reminds me of how left-leaning media reacted to the Dominion case with Fox News and some of the things they said they were finding in Tucker Carlson texts or whatever it might be. This would probably be the news story, at least in conservative media for a while, if we got to a point where one of these cases actually does get heard in court and we do get a discovery process. They're terrified of that. They will keep upping the ante financially to prevent that from happening. That's at least my position on this. And as I said, several others asking those questions too. I hope, and there are more cases still out there, that at least one case can get to a courtroom so that people do have to turn over text messages and phone calls and records of how they discussed setting up these interviews, what they were going to talk about, what kind of questions might have been provided in advance to people like Harris, et cetera, et cetera. It would be awesome. All right, quick break. A lot coming up. Craig Collins filling in. Tony Katz, The Morning News, 93 WIBC.
Lately, the market has been making some big moves, and not all in the right direction. If you've been watching the numbers and wondering what it all means for your retirement, you're not alone. At Howard Bailey Financial, we plan for times like this. The truth is, a volatile day on Wall Street can feel a lot different when you're getting closer to retirement. That's why right now is the right time to take a fresh look at your portfolio, and Howard Bailey can help. Are you taking on more risk than you realize? Are you diversified in a way that makes sense for where you are in life? Find out today with the help of our free Market Volatility Guide. Visit retirewithpurpose.com to download your free guide and learn more about what market shifts may mean for you. That's retirewithpurpose.com. Together, let's make sure your plan is built to weather whatever comes next. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Everybody knows Hubler's got the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles. But did you know? Now you can get that same limited powertrain warranty on new Toyotas. Introducing the all-new Hubler Toyota. Get grand opening savings all month long. And right now, lease a new RAV4, just $349 per month. Or a new Tacoma, $299 per month. Plus, choose from Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, and more.
Hubler's got you covered.
At the all-new Hubler Toyota on US 31 South in Indianapolis. Visit HublerToyota.com. Grand opening savings and the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Cover me!
Select models. Approved credit. Plus tax tag title license 199 dealer doc. RAV4 model 4432. Tacoma model 7540. 36 months. $29.99 due. Zero security. 10,000 annual miles. 15 cents per mile thereafter. Expires 7/7.
Oh no. Stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Matt Bear, how do our roads look?
Northbound 65 near Franklin. This is a crash on the right shoulder before Hurricane Road. Also, car into a building on the east side, 21st and Emerson Avenue. And Ryan has more on that coming up at 8:30 with WIBC News. But yeah, car into a building, 21st and Emerson Avenue. Be careful in that area. South side, northbound 65, loaded and slow through the construction zone. That's South Keystone Avenue up to the South Split. Traffic sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance from Progressive Insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit progressive.com. That's progressive.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. Sunny, a high of 88 today. Right now in downtown Indianapolis, it is 70 degrees. That temperature is brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center of 93 WIBC.
Neighborhoods are popping up everywhere, but if you want something different than what you're currently seeing, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, can build you a unique custom home on your own private lot or anywhere you can bring your own builder. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. Visit Joyner Homes Model Homes or go to joynerhomes.com to see floor plans and pricing and more. With Joyner Homes, you can even start from scratch if you want. Check out their 5-star Google reviews and visit joynerhomes.com. Reach your fitness goals in 2025 with a 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
Tony Katz, the Morning News, 93 WIBC. Craig Collins filling in. You got Matt, you have Carl hanging out as they do all the time on this show. It's going to be a lot more fun to be on I-465 in the near future. Matt saw this story, fired it off to me. This is awesome. The speed limit's going up, baby, from 55 to 65. Not everywhere. Parts of where these streets run through Indianapolis, 86th and 96th Street, it's going to stay 55. And I think they missed an opportunity here, Matt. They said it's the way the road is designed. We should redesign it then to make it more fun and go 65 in those areas too. But they're upping it for some reason. Tell me more about this.
Yeah, it's an oval, so you'd think we'd be able to do 65 miles per hour. It's like straight, a little bit of a corner, then straight. I'm going through this thing for about the 1,000th time, and it's just there are parts of it just make no sense to me. As a driver, this is the dual life I lead. As a driver, I want the extra 10 miles per hour, and I'm going to be honest here because a lot of people are thinking this. I've been going 64 miles per hour with the speed limit 55. Now I will go 64 miles per hour. Or in this case, it would be, okay, you put the speed limit 75, I'll do 74 miles per hour, okay? Yeah. Except for these parts that are listed as still 55. That's the northwest corner of 465, like around 86th Street, 96th Street on the northwest side. You still have to be 55 there, and you still have to mind the construction zone speed limits, all right?
Yeah, no fun.
Yeah, that's going to be 45 miles per hour on the northeast side with the Clear Path construction project. Carl loves that construction zone, loves driving it every day. And then the south side construction zone, the I-65 construction, which goes on until the end of next year, that's going to be a 45 as well. And that's going to include all construction zones. So basically, we're raising the speed limit to 65 on some of 465, just not the whole thing. So,
yeah.
Well, I'm excited about that extra 10 miles per hour. You raise the speed limit. Anytime you go faster, you raise the potential for crashes. So I am saying right now, when this thing goes into full effect, remember, it doesn't go into full effect until all the new speed limit signs are posted. And that should take about a week from July 1st when the law went into effect. So we're looking about sometime next week, 65 miles per hour. I anticipate we're going to get more crashes. Because when you go faster, you get more crashes, and that's all there is to it. As a driver, I'm thrilled to go 74 miles per hour and hopefully not get stopped. But as somebody who reports this, and somebody who sees 465 every single day and the calamity it causes, I have trepidation. That's where I'm at.
That's job security for you, man.
It's job security. Listen, there's always, I love when people say that. There's always going to be traffic. There's always going to be wrecks. That's the unfortunate part. I know that leads to job security, but this thing... I mean, Nigel said this yesterday on the Hammer Nigel show. This should have been enacted decades ago. I mean, why are we just now looking at this, especially at a time where we have these monster construction projects that are just in Indianapolis? I think of this I-65 construction zone on the south side. I mean, it is a garbage compactor. You just don't feel like you have a lot of room when you go northbound or southbound from the south split to 465. And it's already really tight and compact. And I just want people to continue to be mindful of these construction zones and understand, in the construction zones, you're still at 45, man. That's the speed limit. Yeah.
To be honest, as you're saying, Matt, why not do this years ago instead of doing it now? Because you have so many more distracted drivers. Like, one of the reasons that these high-speed accidents are so awful, so horrible, is that typically someone wasn't paying attention because they were looking down at their phone or something, and we have a really horrific moment that occurs. So I get it. But yeah, the part of me that's just a driver wants to go faster all the time. I would like the speed limit to be 100 everywhere I went, if it could, because that would be amazing. And then also probably horrible and terrible. But part of me wants that to happen just because I'd have more fun behind the wheel of my vehicle, which is a bad reason for that. But nonetheless, as you said a second ago, it's going to probably make things more dangerous. So in reality, should they really be doing this now? And I think the reason why is also to prevent as many tickets. That the organization that helped fight for this is an organization that is trying to help people that get a lot of speeding tickets. So if you make the speed limit higher, the assumption is less tickets. That's not how we behave as people. And you pointed it out. We'll just go the certain amount higher than the speed limit we always go, regardless of what the speed limit is. And those same speeders will just now go like 85. In a 65 instead of they were going 75 and a 55.
The heart of hearts of me says this needs to be a 65 mile per hour interstate. Okay, that's ultimately where I land on. You weigh out all the caveats, and we need to be 65. The problem is I read so many comments and I read so many stories about this, and even Ryan talked to some people. I think Ryan Hedrick from our newsroom that just say, "Well, we're already driving 65. Why not just make the speed limit 65?" And I'm thinking in my head, that's so not how it works. You give me an extra 10 miles per hour, I am taking that cushion every time.
Yeah.
Unless I'm in the construction zone, of course. But just to say we're already doing this, then we're going to continue to go 65. That ain't how it works. It's just not going to be that. We are going to be faster on 465, and with that, we'll get more crashes. So we need to be prepared for the consequence of that. Yeah. And I understand. I want to drive faster as well. I'm just saying there are going to be consequences.
It'd be nice if the speed limit, like the way it worked, was different than how human nature is, meaning that we actually made it whatever we think the top end of the speed should be and no one goes over it. Like if it's 65, you're really only supposed to go 65. You're not supposed to go 74. And most of us do that. It'd be nice, like up it to 75, baby, and then say you can't go an inch over it or you get a ticket for that and start writing tickets at 76. That to me would be fine. I wish that's how speed limits actually worked in our country. It's not. We all know that the cop sets it at a certain, number, and unless you're going through a speed trap, you're going to be fine 5, 6, 7 miles over whatever the speed limit is.
Now, I will say this, in some of these interstate speed limits, when you get up to like 80 or 75, and I take my car, I push it push my car up to that speed limit.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm in a wind tunnel and I'm about to completely implode. It's not a comfortable
What kind
feeling.
of car is it?
It's a side FRS with the bumper taped on. And I'll be like flying down the interstate. It's like, all right, 75 miles per hour. I hit that 75, 80 miles per hour. Car kind of feels like it's shaking, or at least the steering wheel. And I'm like, I shouldn't be this fast right now.
Right.
It's just,
for a very long time, I drove a 96 Jeep Cherokee that actually had a death wobble, which is a real thing that some of them get, which if you go over 55 miles an hour, it would just shake like hard.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I know. I called it the massage feature because I thought, they're going over a certain speed limit, we're just going to kick on the massage feature. I recently bought a different vehicle, and I went through the website Carvana. I'll tell people that. And you're allowed to exchange cars for a little bit. So there was 1 week, Matt Bear, where I had a 2023 Mustang. That's not the car I landed on, but I had it. And going from a 96 Jeep Cherokee with a death wobble to a 2023 Mustang would have been a horrible decision for me because of how much more fun it was to drive the other vehicle for several reasons. It had the convertible top. It had all the things I wanted. It was just way out of the price I should be spending for my next vehicle. So I decided not to do it. But I would caution you whenever you move on from the vehicle with the taped bumper, not to upgrade too much because it gets very tempting very fast.
I want the massage feature death wobble in my car.
Okay, that's fine.
Just sitting back, I feel like I'm going to lose my life, but I'm relaxed because my seat's really into my neck right now. It feels good. Yeah.
To be honest, this is the first time in my life I've owned a vehicle that seems to actually be reliable. Like most cars I've owned seem like they were about to physically fall apart on the roadway, and that was amazing. And I'm sort of disappointed that my car feels like it's well put together currently.
You feel safe, and I hate that.
I really dislike it. I feel like I won't need to Flintstone my way home at some point, which is something I could have done in my Jeep Cherokee because it was missing several floorboards. That's something that would have been great. Not so of my Volkswagen Passat is the car I landed on. All right, we'll take a break. A lot coming up. Matt's got some traffic for you. Tony Katz, Morning News, 93 WIBC.
All right, Craig. Johnson County, northbound 65 before Hurricane Road, crash on the right shoulder. East side crash. 21st at Emerson Avenue, car into a building. And Ryan's going to tell you about that coming up during the 8:30 news from WIBC News. Northwest side, northbound 465 slow from 86th Street up to 865. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Hey, this is Rob.
And this is Casey.
Trump threatens to deport Elon Musk because, sure, why not?
Join us Wednesday, 9 until noon on 93 WIBC.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-948-1659. 800-948-1659.
800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. That's 800-948-1659.
The Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division has over $800 million just waiting to be claimed. Text Tony Katz to 46220 or visit indianaunclaimed.gov to claim yours today.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
I'm a grandson, a son. I'm an employee and a mentor. I'm a father to 2 beautiful kids and a husband to an amazing wife. And I have a substance use disorder. In other words, I'm living in recovery with an addiction. And now that you know, will you let it change how you see me? It's okay to see my addiction, but I want you to know it's people choosing to see me as a person that changed my life.
See the person, not just their disease. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
Fireworks are in the air and on the air.
Worthy of looking at from the people of Indianapolis.
People are giving him this money because they want something in return.
Correct.
From political blow-ups
No.
to explosive takes.
This is CNN. President Trump's right. That's scummy.
Your front row seat to the summer's loudest moments.
It's not a coincidence that the news already has a mugshot.
93 WIBC.
Guys, Hammer and Nigel here. Don't live with tiredness and low energy. Get your life back with testosterone therapy at Low T Center. Take the test, get fast results, and start TRT with Indianapolis' leading experts in men's health.
Now it's easier than ever with the new Synergen X Health app, an innovation in healthcare technology you won't find anywhere else. Download right now or book an appointment while the test is still free at fixmylowt.com. fixmylowt.com.
Stay on your home court with Franciscan Health's top-rated cardiac heart care. No traveling, no waiting. Just award-winning heart care right where you live. Rated #1 in Indiana 2 years in a row for cardiology and cardiac care by health grades, Franciscan Health offers first-in-the-world treatments, cutting-edge technology, and unmatched compassion. Because we believe every heartbeat is extraordinary. Don't sit on the sidelines with heart trouble. Schedule a same-day cardiology appointment today at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Border crossing numbers have dropped under President Trump. Your radar is clear at 70 degrees in downtown Indianapolis with the humidity. It feels like it's 75. Good morning. A high of 88 today. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 8:31. Illegal border crossings are down sharply compared to last year, and President Trump says it's because of his policies. He's visited a new detention center yesterday nicknamed Alligator Alcatraz.
Officials here think they have found their way around a huge bottleneck, and that is the number of illegal immigrants waiting to see a deportation judge. If they're not just going to be caught and released, they need to have a deportation hearing. So what they're going to do down in Florida is they're going to take qualified National Guard judge advocates, and they are going to deputize them as immigration judges. That could allow many migrants to have hearings within 48 hours, limiting their time at Alligator Alcatraz.
And that's Fox's Peter Ducey reporting from the White House this morning. Trump has threatened to arrest a mayoral candidate in New York City if he hampers with immigration arrests.
President Trump is escalating attacks on New York City Democratic mayoral nominee Zohran Mamdani, floating the claim that Mamdani is in the U.S. illegally and threatening him with arrest if he blocks immigration arrests in the city. Mamdani, a naturalized U.S. citizen, was born in Uganda and has lived in New York City since 1998. He says Trump's statements are, quote, an attack on democracy. New York Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul, who has so far not endorsed Mamdani, did show some support for him on social media, saying, quote, I don't care if you're the president of the United States. If you threaten to unlawfully go after one of our neighbors, you're picking a fight with 20 million New Yorkers, starting with me.
And that's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Staying in New York City, the jury in the Diddy case couldn't come to a decision on a racketeering judgment. They did have 4 other decisions they made as the sex trafficking trial in Diddy continues, and the jury will reconvene in about 27 minutes. A drug deal, a shooting, and now a teenager charged with murder. Marion County prosecutors say they have charged 16-year-old Emmanuel Carter as an adult after they say he shot and killed an 18-year-old woman in a marijuana deal that went south. A storm-chasing couple got engaged over the weekend, all as an EF3 tornado threatened their life. Here's Fox's Ted Lindner.
In what's being described as a literal whirlwind romance, storm chasers Bryce Shelton and Paige Berdomas got engaged Sunday in front of a swirling EF3 tornado in South Dakota. The couple, bonded by their love of wild weather, were tracking a series of storms when Shelton dropped to one knee with what the couple described as the most beautiful tornado they had ever seen as the backdrop. The moment was captured in a stunning photo with Paige saying yes behind her safety goggles. The two had been dating for over a year, chasing twisters together, and Shelton had kept the ring hidden for weeks, waiting for just the right storm. Now they're forecasting a lifetime of love and adventure. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
And sports on WIBC brought to you by Ball State Athletics. Visit ballstatesports.com. It was a love affair in Minneapolis last night.
There's the horn. Final score, Fever 74, Lynx 59. And for the first time in franchise history, the Indiana Fever are WNBA Commissioner's Cup champions.
John Nolan with the call on the Indiana Fever Radio Network. No Caitlin Clark, no problem. The Fever take down the Minnesota Lynx 74-59. Here's head coach Stephanie White.
Our execution through three quarters on both ends of the floor was really good against an outstanding team. I mean, I'm just really proud of this group. You know, we're going to continue to get better. We're going to continue to stack days. It's nice to take a trophy home, but this isn't the ultimate goal.
And forward Natasha Howard was the game's MVP. The total purse for the game, $500,000, breaks down to $30,000 per player on the winning team. In Major League Baseball,
it was excellent again. It was efficient, and it's just more of what we've seen from Matt really the whole season.
And that Chicago Cubs manager Craig Counsell speaking to the press after Matthew Boyd, his pitcher, won his 8th game of the year last night. The Cubs beat the Guardians 5-2. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level on the go and at WIBC.com at 8:35. Traffic on the 5s. Here's Matt Baer.
North side, westbound 465, slow from 31 Meridian over to Michigan Road. Northbound 65 on the south side, slow from South Keystone Avenue into the south split. That is a construction zone. South side, eastbound 465 at South Meridian before 31. That's a stall on the left shoulder. No delay. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors from 1951 Cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road at North Shadeland or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
We'll have a very nice day in Indianapolis today, a high of 88. Right now it's 70 degrees with just a few clouds in downtown Indy. That temperature brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center of 93 WIBC. Tony Katz, the Morning News, 93 WIBC. My name is Craig Collins filling in. Thrilled to be with you. A whole bunch of stuff to talk about. This is crazy. This is a British pop star or sort of pop star, Lily Allen, laughing about not knowing the amount of abortions she's had in her life. This is real. This is going viral. It's on a podcast that she does with some other woman. But I'll play a little bit of this audio and talk about how horrific it is. It actually starts with her like singing a faux song about abortion in general. And I think this is the exact intent. This is the exact reason that we have these sort of conversations or these things exist in places like media. They want you to minimize the significance of something this horrible.
Abortions, I've had a few, but then again, I can't remember exactly how many.
What, really?
Wow. Yeah.
Why didn't this come up in last week's episode? We were just talking about abusions.
Because I was just letting you run with it.
Reveal everything.
I can't remember. Yeah, I think maybe like, I want to say 4 or 5.
Yeah.
It is crazy for her to say it that way. She says she now has a certain device that prevents her from getting pregnant, but she used to get pregnant a lot before that happened. I don't get it. I honestly don't. People can have all sorts of conversations about why you think this is the right road to go, or that is the right road to go as far as this issue is concerned. But minimizing what you're choosing to do, I don't think actually even reflects the true experience of people who do this. I think that many, many people, and I know there's a lot of studies and information about this. I have no firsthand knowledge as I in fact am a man who can't get pregnant, obviously, of course, even though the left doesn't like to say that either, which is weird. But a lot of people who do have an abortion eventually regret it. They say that they do. So that is not reflected in this at all. And the viralness of this and the people supporting this individual for how she minimized killing a baby is insane to me. It's just insane. And it's certainly, I think, with an eye towards something very different, something that politicians want and not something that makes any sort of sense as far as humans go. And maybe there's a part of it, too, where like mentally you're broken enough that you want to pretend it doesn't matter because of how much it does, in fact, matter. And I imagine at the point when you've had 4 or 5, or you're not sure how many of these procedures, that you might really think about what you've done and what has changed in the world because of your decision making compared to what could have been, meaning you could have several children right now. One other thing, and I just thought this was interesting. People are now asking a specific question about Elon Musk and why he's so very adamant about going after President Trump and the big, beautiful bill. One thing that apparently has been pointed out is that Tesla sales have finally gone up for the first time in China. For the last 9-10 months, they've had slowly falling off the radar versions of selling their vehicles there. And suddenly there was a spike. And a lot of people on Chinese social media have been celebrating Elon Musk's war against President Trump, mostly because a whole lot of people in China think that Trump is a scary guy that they don't want to mess with and actually isn't willing to just give whatever China wants to China in order to have trade deals and whatnot with them. So honestly, he's doing a lot of great things here for the United States in how he goes about dealing with the Chinese government and the Chinese, economy. And yet for people there, and maybe for Elon Musk, this is all a path to selling more cars, especially at a time when he's seeing car sales in the United States likely go down. They've already gone down, but go down even more because we're not going to have all those sweet, sweet incentives that the government had been handing to him for a while to buy electric vehicles in the first place. So I think this is interesting. If all of this is really just a play to make his brand more successful in a different part of the world, a part of the world that uniquely is on the radar of a lot of conservatives as a place we're not all that big of fans of, then this makes more sense to me than all of a sudden this being a money thing and not anything else. And specifically a money thing that's, the more he does it, the more he thinks he's going to sell cars. Finally seems to be the answer to the question, how did they go from being so close, President Trump and Elon Musk, to people who seem, at least Elon, to truly hate each other all of a sudden. And there's no real way to get there except this way, except the money way. All right, quick break. A lot coming up in a very short amount of time. Craig Collins filling in, Tony Katz, The Morning News, 93 WIBC.
It's hot out there. The weather's hot.
It's really hot.
But the headlines, they're even hotter.
Massive precision strikes. This was about being clandestine and the nuclear capability of Iran.
The news of the day is heating up.
Things have gotten super hot out there.
Iran is run by homicidal maniac crazy people.
Stay cool.
Angry at the basketball gods.
Stay informed.
This isn't the way that it was supposed to go down.
Stay with 93 WIBC.
There's something timeless about radio. It's where stories are told, ideas are shared, and communities stay connected. Our generation grew up with it, and we still believe in the power of tuning in. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe planning for retirement should feel just as familiar and trusted. That's why we're bringing real conversations and practical advice to the airwaves. Join us every Sunday at 9 p.m. for our Retire with Purpose Radio Hour, right here on 93.1 WIBC. We'll talk about what really matters in retirement, income you can count on, choices you can feel good about, and a future that reflects your values. Because some things, like good planning and good radio, never go out of style. Howard Bailey Financial, retirement planning that speaks your language. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com. The Retire with Purpose Radio Hour is a paid placement on each airing station.
From marshmallow festivals to fireworks on the shore. No matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. During Hubler's Freedom to Drive, shop any of our 13 locations and choose from Chevys, Fords, Toyotas, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and more. Over 2,000 vehicles. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report.
'Cause Hubler's got you covered.
No matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles during our Freedom to Drive. Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 13 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Celebrate the 4th at Downtown Indy's 4th Fest, brought to you by UA Local 440. Groove to live music, savor tasty food, and let the kids have a blast at the Jump In Kids Carnival. Then stick around for fireworks powered by the Indiana Fever and WNBA All-Star Committee.
Another update is just minutes away.
The House vote could come today on the so-called one big beautiful tax and spending bill.
It's a great bill. There is something for everyone.
I think it will be a great thing for America. It's going to codify the tax cuts for the middle class.
Hear the news.
Indiana's cigarette tax tripled.
Drive down tobacco use.
As events happen.
Drones, canines, and lots of cops. A couple of people drove the car into a fireworks store.
We'll happen to be there.
Chaotic scene.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Attorney General's Office, reuniting Hoosiers with over $1 million in unclaimed property every week. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov or text Tony Katz to 46220 today.
Matt Bear, how do our roads look?
South side, eastbound 465 at South Meridian Street. It's a stall blocking left lane. They have the assist there. And hopefully it won't take too long to get that left lane reopened. In Johnson County, northbound 65 before Hurricane Road, crash on the right shoulder. Construction zone, south side, northbound 65 slows after South Keystone Avenue past Raven. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. Sunny, a high of 88 right now in the high of 88 is for later today in downtown Indianapolis. It is currently 70 degrees. That's what I meant to say. This temperature is brought to you by the American Standard Heating and Cooling Weather Center of 93 WIBC. Tony Katz, Morning News, 93 WIBC. A Beautiful Mine, M-I-N-E, is the name of that song. That is a Mad Men, the theme song. This is thank you, sir. This is the thing we do, where Carl plays a TV show theme song, and we guess what it is. That's a good one. Mad Men's a very good show, and I've seen every episode of said television show. Matt Bear, did you know that one too?
I thought it was Seventh Heaven. But...
Okay. Okay. Let's be a little honest here. I know Carl tries to pick predominantly like good TV shows. We need like just 90s and early 2000 shows to be a week of this thing, where all it is shows you probably shouldn't have been watching. And I'll probably do quite well on those theme songs too.
I remember Must See TV. Anything from Must See TV, I'll get.
Sure.
I get the Friends theme song. That's a hard one.
It is tough. That one is intense. You know what makes me really sad is that Friends is now on Nick at Night. That makes me sad.
I mean, it just goes to show that what's adult humor then is not as adult humor as it is now. If you can put that on Nick at Night, what used to be controversial then isn't so controversial now. So that's
it's true.
Hilarious
but even just like
beautiful.
Nickelodeon at night was supposed to be the old people shows. Yeah. You know, like I remember growing up watching shows that I didn't grow up on as a kid. If I was up late watching Nick at Night, now it shows that I remember every episode of airing when I'm, very much a teenager or whatnot.
No, it used to be the Good of America, right? Andy and Mayberry,
sure.
And those kind of shows.
Yeah. That was fantastic. All right, some other things out there real quick before we get out of here for the day. If you want to throw off your entire day, you need to screw up your morning routine, according to a brand new study that came out. And there's a few unique ways you could do this. Number one is not having your morning coffee, or I'll actually add not having your morning stimulant, because I'm not a coffee drinker. I drink energy drinks, specifically V8 ones. I'm actually going to hold one up in front of the camera since you do a live stream this thing on all the social media platforms. I like the V8 energy drink. Everybody seems to make fun of me for this, and I don't care about it. But this I choose instead of coffee and instead of like Red Bull as far as an energy drink goes. But stimulant of choice. You skip it, you're ruining your morning. That true for you guys?
Oh, you might as well call in sick. If I don't get my coffee, I'm not worth anything to anybody. And it starts with a cup of coffee at home. And then it goes into these Starbucks. I call them anxiety in a can. It's like 4 shots of espresso cold brew. And it says brew in it, but it's not the cold brew that you would get, at a brewery. It's just caffeine. It's just a big spike of caffeine. Craig, I kid you not, those things bounce right off me anymore. It really don't do anything for me. Yeah, so to get that coffee feeling, you have to have more when you get to work. But, yeah, you have to have that coffee to be functional if you live in the adult world or tea or whatever you do. Now, if you can go to work without your caffeine, I think you're an amazing person and superhuman.
I don't like you, actually, to be honest. If you can go to work without the caffeine, I don't like you. I'm not a fan. I will say say this, though, man. Did you just admit that you have 4 shots of espresso, a cup of coffee, and then another cup of coffee when you get to work?
I don't think that sounds excessive.
No, it doesn't. I just want to. So you're 6 deep by the time that you actually are on the air.
Oh, yeah, baby, double fisting. I leave the apartment. Here's what I do is I take one of the cold brews out of my refrigerator, put them on the counter the night before so I don't forget the cold brew.
Sure.
It's warm, and then I switch them out. It's so dumb.
Doesn't matter.
It's the beauty of living alone in your 40s, man. I mean, you have to pay tricks on yourself to be able to remember everything. It's so bizarre.
Dude, I love giving myself hints. Actually, my favorite thing about anything that my wife wants me to take with me when I leave the house in the morning is it has to be put in front of the door. Like, it's actually got to be put, I can't avoid it, and then it's likely to go with me. If it's not there, I'm not going to remember it.
As long as she's not, like, putting suitcases full of your clothes or anything like that.
It depends. Whatever it is, it's got to be in front of the door.
Ooh, I was just trying to be dark, man. Sorry.
I know. Yeah. That's all right. We'll see what happens. You never know. When I get home tonight, the missus might be like, this is the last time. All right, other things out there. Not drinking enough water is something that can throw off your morning. Not drinking coffee, apparently, and or water. Not showering is on this list. Skipping your morning workout for anyone that works out in the morning. I've left one off the list on purpose, and I'll get to it last. But any of these sound like they're true for you guys, too?
Well, it sounds like they're saying if you don't do your morning routine, your morning's going to be thrown off, and I agree with that 100%. They're all saying things that you just do. I mean, it's not talking about some outside source throwing off your morning routine. These are just things like, I forgot to shower today. I smell awful. I mean, we're just talking about somebody not doing the thing here as opposed to the morning routine.
Yeah. By the way, number 2 on this list was not brushing your teeth.
Good Lord.
I know. That's how I reacted to that one, man. Like, if you forget that in the morning, you are begging for a horrible day, and you're going to have to fix that at some point. How do you handle it if you do forget somehow to take a shower, brush the teeth? What do you do? I do, I'm not sure that I can say the name of it on the radio, but I do the version of the shower in the bathroom with the sink where you splashing it and cleaning yourself. Not that this happens to me often. I'm admitting that this is very seldom, that you might not have time to do a hygiene thing. But you gotta address it before you're in front of people. You got to do whatever version of it you can.
I know there are medical things, but halitosis is one of the things that bothers me the most.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's just absolutely awful. If you're not brushing your teeth, I don't know what the deal is. Again, if there's a medical issue, I understand, and God bless you. I hope you get help. But if you're not doing it because, it's just I brushed them on Tuesday. Today's Wednesday.
Right. Yeah,
I don't want to waste a toothbrush. I don't want to waste the strokes.
I have a toothbrush, toothpaste, and mouthwash in my vehicle, and I get made fun of for that. But that's just in case, like, I even have, like, lunch, and I think that my breath smells bad, is I'll go that road at some point. I have these things at all times because you can't forget this stuff. This stuff will make everyone that works with you hate you if you have bad breath for a day, and it's not like a medical condition that's not your fault. If you're just not brushing your teeth, people are not going to like you as a person.
Well, they already don't want to be near you, and then they're like, okay, they are choosing not to be hygienical, so that's another point down.
Right.
I mean, there are lots of things here that if it's not good, that people are going to judge you on.
Yeah.
There's going to be a whole lot of judgment through this one, I can promise you.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that was the top 5 things on the list that might ruin your morning and the experience everyone else has who's around you, I guess, is probably missing but should be mentioned here. One last thing before we go. This is a crazy story out of California. A drunk driver was pulled over with 73 empty beer cans inside of his vehicle. Cops pulled him over. Of course, he was driving erratically as someone who was currently intoxicated. And the reason this story went viral, they breathalyzed him 3 times the legal limit is the amount that he actually blew into the breathalyzer, but 73. Most of them were 25-ounce tall boys, too.
Wow.
I'm not trying to make fun of this because honestly, and I know, Matt, you talk about this a lot in the podcast you do, this is a person who has a problem. This is a person who has an addiction. They're going to need help of some kind. But I also understand why it went viral. It is ridiculous to have this many empty beer cans inside your car before you eventually get caught by the police doing something horrible.
Yeah, he needs a timeout, at least from driving and probably some other things. I don't know him, and I hate to take his inventory, especially when it comes to that. You're talking about alcoholism and the Supporting Sobriety podcast. Yeah, I don't want to look at somebody and say, you're an alcoholic. You have 70 freaking beer cans in your truck, dude. Nobody on the face of the earth can drink 73 beers at one time. So that's been spread over the course of a week or several days, which means you're a daily drinker. Oh man.
Yeah, I know. It's horrible. And honestly, sort of ridiculous because as a cop pulling that guy over, you must be thinking to yourself, like, is this real? This has got to be a joke. Somebody at the, a station must have put me up on this. There's no way I just pulled over a dude blowing 3 times the legal limit, driving terribly, with 73 empty beer cans in his car, and yet it happened.
We often recognize, and we're so good about this at this radio station, recognizing our law enforcement officers, but even something where violence doesn't occur, that is a hell of a job by that cop for taking him off the road in that particular instance, because you don't think of those things as like things cops have to do. Yes, you arrest drunk drivers, but man, this guy needs a timeout. He at least needs time to think about it. That's what I don't want to say anything
for
more
sure.
Yeah.
Amen, Matt. All right, I got to go. See you guys tomorrow. You got some traffic for us. Thanks, buddy.
Northbound 65, stop and go traffic.